radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it. But also, you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. None of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together. And then we climbed to the very top, obviously. Virgil won Player of the Season, Mo won Player of the Season, Jordan Henderson won Player of the Season. All these lads did. People were, quoted as the best in their position and things like that. And I think that team just kept on growing and growing. And when you're winning Premier Leagues, when you're, in Champions League finals and winning Champions League finals, it's a really special time and a special journey. And I think that was the time when you just seen us all having so much fun, but there was such a determination within everyone's faces to just be the best they could every single day, and I think that's why we got to where we got to.
From the Toffees to the Tractor Boys, the Eagles to the Seagulls, Gunners, Bees, Hammers and Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves two club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles." And some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them. Like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Good evening, this is Fame Football. It's Friday on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings. We are back. I think this is only like the second or third time this year, but we're back. we're back nonetheless. You was in the hot seat last week, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
I learned quite how tricky it is over there.
Not easy, is it?
No.
Give me a lot of stick.
No,
give me a lot of nonsense.
I do. I give you a headache. I have a newfound respect for you.
Hopefully you'll show that in the next 3 hours. Arsenal won the Premier League. Can they go and win the one trophy that has evaded their cabinet over the years, the European Cup? Won't be easy. They take on the reigning champions and big favourites, Paris Saint-Germain. We are going to build up to the big game in Budapest tomorrow. 5 o'clock kickoff, by the way, which isn't normal. I don't like that. It should be 8 p.m. We're going to hear from the managers, former players, and we're going to take some calls from you, the fans, as well. World Cup fast approaching, isn't it? England's first game is against an old foe in Croatia. We're going to talk about how far Thomas Tuchel's side can and will and should go. Who are the favourites for the tournament? And we're going to pick a couple of dark horses as well. And some transfer news. Anthony Gordon to Barcelona. How crazy. It makes absolutely no sense. Canate leaving Liverpool makes a lot of sense. This is Fang Football. It's Friday on talkSPORT. They get in touch. Phone lines are open already. It's going to be a busy one tonight. 03717 223344. You can text us as well. 81089. Be kind. I'll read out the best ones. It's a lovely day in the capital. Lovely day.
Is it?
What?
Is it?
It is. Rory, stop it. It is, because me and Rory are on the way here and it's like, I wish I could just have the day off. Did you not say that?
No. Everybody knows I have a Lutheran work ethic. I love going to work, and everything I do revolves around my commitment to my job.
So is it not a lovely day?
No, I find the heat
overbearing.
I find the heat overbearing. But no, generally speaking, I'm in good spirits. I could do without Arsenal winning the Champions League this week. I could certainly do without that.
We could all do without it.
I could do without that. I could do with England finding a bit of rhythm ahead of a World Cup.
Yeah, true.
But no, generally speaking, there's a spring in my step, Oladipo.
There's a spring in every Arsenal fan step as well. By the way, how many Arsenal jerseys are you seeing now on the streets? We was in the train today and there was 2. Just in our cabin.
Do you know what you can? Do you know what you can?
It is ours.
Do you know what you can definitely say about Arsenal? The debate about the biggest clubs, I always find it a little bit boring and a little bit pointless anyway. But you know that debate: who's the biggest club in London? Who are the biggest clubs in the country or in the world? What you can never debate is volume of fans for Arsenal. Like, you can debate the bigger club thing. Like, they went over 2 decades without winning their domestic league. They've never won a European Cup since they last won a Premier League title. Chelsea have won 5 Premier Leagues since they last won a Premier League title. Chelsea have won 6 European trophies, including 2 Champions Leagues. So you can have a debate about the biggest club, maybe through that lens. But in terms of volume of fans, they are unrivaled in the capital. Unrivaled.
It's not even close. I mean, obviously, Liverpool and United will kind of run it close, and maybe those two are bigger in terms of fan bases. But just numbers. They're going to say 1 million are going to go to the parade. 1 million. If Arsenal win the Champions League, that number could be anything.
Yeah. Arsenal are undoubtedly, in terms of like number of fans, far more in keeping with the traditions of Manchester United and Liverpool. They are comparable to what Manchester United and Liverpool can do. Far more than they are Tottenham and Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, by far. And I think they've almost garnered a new fan base because they're like the culture club, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everyone likes them. All their kits are trendy and everything. The way in which they've kind of sort of linked up with brands. Everyone seems to like them. Everyone loves Ian Wright. Everyone loves Henry.
I'll tell you what they've managed to do, which is admirable. It's actually incredible and is a testament to the size of the club and the history of the club. What they've managed to do, considering their like lacklustre form over the last few decades, they've done really well to have this support, because fair weather supporters, more kind of general football fans, Arsenal have always had a very dedicated support, a very loyal support, a tribal support, which is why I never really bought into the whole, you know, the Highbury Library or the kind of stick.
The fans have never left that.
The form, the old school Arsenal, Islington, proper Arsenal, right? And they were always very, very passionate. But they've managed to, despite not winning a league for 2 decades, in those 2 decades, they've managed to accrue all the fair weather supporters as well. They've managed to accrue the sort of glory hunters.
Why do you think they've done that? And how?
I think you've hit the nail on the head a bit with what Thierry Henry contributed to the Premier League and Ian Wright.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I think both. I think both of them are loved just universally. No one seems to have a bad word to say about Ian Wright. I'm a Chelsea fan and Ian Wright. Well, you look at United
I like him.
legends that are on TV, and they're kind of mixed, aren't they? Some like Neville, some don't. Some love Keane, some don't. Some love Ferdinand, some don't. Everyone universally loves Wright and Henry.
Yeah,
I think that's helped.
I think so, and also I think Thierry Henry especially. Look, Ian Wright was a class footballer, no doubt about it. Breaking Cliff Baston's record in the way that he did is kind of forgotten. He was Arsenal's top goal scorer. It didn't last that long because Thierry Henry was so good. Yeah. But I think Henry Henry's foothold in the game is kind of unrivaled, isn't it? It's unmatched. Thierry Henry is only comparable in the Premier League era, probably to Wayne Rooney, in terms of brilliant Premier League footballers.
Yeah.
Like if you ask somebody who's the best ever Premier League footballer, there's only really two answers. Chelsea fans, I would always argue that Frank Lampard is there. I think Liverpool fans will always make a case for maybe Steven Gerrard. But if we remove any tribalism,
it's Henry, isn't it?
Thierry Henry or Wayne, I think Wayne Rooney deserves a mention alongside.
But the reason why Henry gets more votes is because Henry is international. Like internationally, Henry's just more known, isn't he? He's just Henry. Thierry Henry. All right, let's hear from a man that's not maybe as known as much as Henry, but is certainly known now to Arsenal fans. Their manager, Mikel Arteta, who was asked if his side winning the Premier League has taken some pressure off his team.
Ambition is bigger. We have one, and we won the second one, and that's all we've been talking about. There has to be a platform to reach bigger destinations and to aim for more, and the team is capable because he's shown it in the last 2 seasons, the way of 3 in this competition, what we've done this season in the competition, and I want the players to be so confident that we're going to go and do it.
Speaks well, doesn't he? Always speaks quite assured. Even when you felt like Arsenal were creaking a bit, you almost felt like he had the confidence of knowing that he's got a team that's built for this now. Is he now, with Pep gone, obviously with Klopp going the season before, is he now undoubtedly the number 1 manager in the league? Like, there's no competition. He is that guy.
Yes, I think it's fairly uncontroversial to say that Mikel Arteta now is the best manager in the league. Now he's
not Unai Emery.
No, I think you can make a case. I think you can certainly make an honourable mention. And had Mikel Arteta not won the league this year and got to a Champions League final, I think you could say that it was Emery. But these things are not everlasting. These things aren't set in stone. When Mikel Arteta has a season like he's had, when he delivers in the way that he's delivered, when he finds an antidote to the brilliance of Pep Guardiola and nullifies Liverpool and wins the Premier League with games to spare, you have to give him his...
Okay, let me ask that question again then in another way. Is he now an elite manager?
Yes, I think once you've won a Premier League title, once you've won, I don't think we can belittle what he did here. He's won a Premier League in the same season as he's got to a Champions League final. Whether they win it or not, he is the best manager in the Premier League. And going into the start of the new season, whether they win the Champions League or not, Arsenal will be favourites to retain the Premier League. And think about the significance of what I just said there. Retaining a Premier League title is incredibly difficult to do. Arsene Wenger, their greatest Premier League era manager.
We said all this about Liverpool last season. We said all this about Liverpool.
And it was true.
Well, Liverpool were favourites, yeah, but they clearly fell off a cliff.
Yeah. But it was true at the time that we said it. True. When we said Liverpool were likely to retain a Premier League title, when we said that their transfer window was spectacular, when Henry Winter tweeted something along the lines of, Carlsberg don't do transfer windows, but if they did, this would be... Henry Winter was right. It just didn't materialise in that way. It was an amazing transfer window. But ultimately, I'm inclined to say that Arsenal, looking at the next season, if you could tell me who is more likely to win a Premier League title than them, I'll call you a liar.
Yeah, we'll get to that, actually. We'll get to the runners and riders, because I'm with you. I think Arsenal are massive favourites to retain the Premier League. In order for them to win the Champions League, Amini was speaking about this, who's going to be the person to step up? A lot of people think it could be Bukayo Saka. Let's hear from the Arsenal man now. He's been speaking to the media and talked about the journey the team has been on under Mikel Arteta.
We're very far away from the level we are now, but Mikel made it clear. His mission was to bring Arsenal back to where we believe it belongs, and that's competing at the highest level, fighting for all the trophies. And yeah, I'm proud that we can sit here today and say that we've achieved that, winning the Premier League and obviously being able to play in this final. It's been a long journey, some disappointments along the way, but it's been worth it, the feeling to lift that Premier League and obviously do it with Mikel was special as well, and obviously Martin and all the players, that we've been here for most of the journey, and we've fought for each other and had to pick each other up and go again, and now we get to enjoy these moments.
Bukayo Saka there speaking to the media ahead of that big game tomorrow. He's not had the best of seasons, Bukayo, probably one of his worst seasons in recent years, but they've almost not, I don't want to say they've not needed him, but finally he's had people to back him up, whether it be Noni Madueke, Eze Gan to that right-hand side, whereas you almost felt before that they rushed him back just because we need Saka. Now you don't need him as much. Still integral, obviously, will start for them tomorrow, but he's not as important because they now have a bit more depth.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head. There was a time, and it wasn't that long ago. In fact, in the previous season, when they beat Real Madrid, I remember talking ahead of that game, basically saying, if Bukayo Saka is fit, maybe they can win the game. Without him, they can't. That was proved to be incorrect. But I think the narrative was they have to get Bukayo Saka fit for that game because they are so reliant on him. There was a time where, fit or not, he played.
Yeah.
And this is now to the credit of Mikel Arteta, who has built a team, used the transfer window very, very wisely to assemble a squad rather than an 11. He's come up with an antidote to Guardiola. He's come up with an answer.
Yeah. Because
there was a time when he tried to play the Guardiola system. Arsenal did play. You know all this criticism of Arsenal. There was a time where they played some effervescent football. But they didn't win the league.
Yeah, so what's the point?
So when he was a B-Tech version of Guardiola, people laughed at him, people lambasted him, and they said that you will never be better than Guardiola at being Guardiola. So Mikel Arteta said, okay, I'll come up with my own solution. And the solution has been be rigid, be solid, be bullies in the true, beautiful sense of the word on a football pitch, and make sure that you've basically got 2 players per position so that your squad depth is so, so powerful.
All right, we are going to hear from the Arsenal captain a bit later, and we're going to hear from the PSG manager, Luis Enrique. But I do want to hear from you, the Arsenal fans at home, who must be excited and nervous at the same time. You've won 1 trophy. Can you win another to make this a really glorious season? 03717 22 3344.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind, and very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. The initial period was a bit iffy, but I think that last year, a year and a half, the appreciation for him and his career has been immense. So that will be a headache. Goal scoring wise up front, of course, with the addition of Mbeumo, Šeško and Cunha. Get a little bit more grit, a little bit more stability, a little bit older players, and in the past they went a little bit for some younger players. So I think they will do that step again to look at in the Premier League.
It certainly does. FIFA World Cup starts June 11th. You just heard it. All the games will be live across the talkSPORT network. Can't wait. Can't wait to get out there. Just thought I'd rub that in your face, Mr. Jennings. I'm out there. First game, Brazil-Morocco. I'll be pitch side for Brazil-Morocco.
Is that your first game?
First game.
Wow, that's amazing.
Big game,
That'd be a
innit?
great game as well.
What a game of
It would be a
football.
great game.
Neymar,
Yeah.
Rafinha,
Do you know what you're
Vinicius
witnessing
Junior, Hakimi.
You are witnessing something like watching Brazil play.
Yeah.
In a World Cup, I think it's a rite of passage for a football fan. I remember when I went out for the 2014 World Cup, I went to a game at the Maracanã just to see. Yeah, just because it had to be done. It had to be done.
That's why I was so happy when Neymar got called up, because I almost want to be in this World Cup, the final one, where Neymar says goodbye, Messi, Ronaldo, Modric, maybe Kane.
Yeah.
Maybe in terms of last World Cup. So there's a lot of good players saying goodbye. All right, Fame Footballers Friday. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings. We are talking Arsenal Champions League. Can they beat the mighty PSG to win their first European Cup? We were talking about managers a bit earlier. I obviously mentioned, is it Unai Emery a better manager than Arteta? This is coming from Dan. It says, does Emery winning 5 Europa Leagues make a great manager or a brilliant second-class manager? It's the equivalent of winning 5 championships and not being able to cut it in the Prem. Pep, Mourinho and Ancelotti don't have 5 Europas between them because they're too busy fighting for the big titles.
There is truth in that.
There is some truth in that.
It's a very sneery...
It's awful, but it's right.
It's a very sneery approach that I completely agree with.
Yeah.
It's a very sneery approach that I wholeheartedly endorse. I think he's right. I think Emery is a serious guy, serious manager. But I also think
won't
there are
take
levels...
that next step. He's tried that next step, hasn't he, a couple of times?
He had it. It was at Paris Saint-Germain. It didn't go well. Didn't win the league when he was at Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
He was at Arsenal. Arsenal fans really, really didn't warm to him. And like when you think about the Emery era at Arsenal, I feel like all I think about is what Chelsea did to Arsenal in Baku. That's all I think about when you think of Emery at Arsenal.
Yeah, this Arteta versus Emery on tonight's tweets and texts. This one's coming. Says Arteta has spent hundreds of millions. Emery had to sell his best players and can't spend, but still qualifies for the Champions League again and wins the Europa League. Arteta couldn't win a thing with the budget Emery has to work with. Arteta isn't fit to lace Emery's boots. Get real, Nick the villain.
Yes, there could be a slight bias in it.
Yeah, just the last bit there kind of gave it away that he's obviously clearly a Villa fan. He's got a point, though. He's got a point. I mean, Emery's been working with his hand tied behind his back, having to sell players.
But look, Pep Guardiola spent a lot of money, but nobody else could. No, you could give somebody double the amount of money that Guardiola had, and he wouldn't build a team half as good.
Very true. Very, very true. All right, let's hear from the Arsenal captain. I teased it just before the break, Martin Odegaard, who, by the way, I mean, it's not even a banker he starts, is it? Because it's him or Eze. I think that's almost a decision that Arteta's going to make, really, lastminute.com. This is what Odegaard had to say about how confident he is with the Arsenal team going into the final.
Yeah, we know the quality we have in the team. I think we've showed that for a very long period of time. Obviously coming from winning the Premier League, which is probably the toughest league to win in the world, gives us a lot of confidence. We know what we are and what we can do. Obviously, we're playing a good team with a lot of qualities, but we have full belief in ourselves, what we can do, and the football that we can play and the results that we can get. So, yeah, that's our main focus, to be us and to focus on what we can do and what we can control. And then, yeah, it's a big game, but we're ready for it, as I said, and fully believe in the team and everything that we can do on the pitch.
You know what I said, just as I read that out, I said that he's not a banker to start. You looked at me like I was a bit, Ade, I'm not quite sure. Is he a banker?
I think he is, actually. In a game of this magnitude, I think that being the club captain, everything that he's done for the club, you also look at his performance. You know when it most mattered for Arsenal? Something that you could criticise Odegaard for was being a little bit lightweight, a little bit soft when it most matters. He came on against West Ham and won Arsenal the league.
Yeah.
Like if you trace back, where did Arsenal win the league? You could kind of ask the question. Some would say it happened towards the beginning of the season, actually, when they won at St James's Park late on, and they went for the victory when they didn't necessarily need to. Some would say it started then. Others would say maybe Max Staumann against Everton won them the league. If you think it was the game at the London Stadium against West Ham United, which a lot of people would, the goal scored by Trossard and the performance from Martin Odegaard.
But you just said it there at the top of it. He came on.
Yeah, he came on to win the league.
He's lost his place.
Yeah, there's jeopardy around his place, but he came on to win him the league.
That's why I don't think he's a banker.
But the fact that he came on to win him the league and he's the club captain. And look, I like Eze. I think Eze's a better player.
Would that be your three then? Would you go Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard?
If I were picking the side, I don't think I'd leave the club captain out of the club's most important game for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd leave he's the captain for a reason.
And ultimately, you'll look to the bench and you'll see Madueke, you see Eze, and you've got game changers.
You've got a game changer in Eze for sure.
Trossard.
Yeah, I don't think you can put Madueke in that, but yeah, you've got a game changer in.
Thomas Tuchel certainly thinks he can change a game.
We'll talk about him at some point, I hope.
No, I'll give you your time to talk about him. Let's hear from the PSG manager, Luis Enrique. He was asked if Arsenal going for the first Champions League title makes them a more dangerous side.
Yeah, it's powerful, but you know how powerful it is try to win the second Champions League in a row. It's bigger. So we are in advance.
I love Enrique. You're looking at the best manager, or hearing from the best manager in the world right now.
Yeah, he's the governor. What he has done in the game is just truly unreal. Like, he won a treble in Barcelona. A decade later, wins a treble, the first ever treble in French football. He's now on to try and retain a Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain, a side with no real foothold in Europe. It's unbelievable what he's done, isn't it? You know, like Mbappe leaves, he wins them the Champions League. Dembele comes back to not exactly fanfare, turns him into the Ballon d'Or winner. It's unbelievable. His contribution to football is up there with the very best.
You know, we always used to talk about Sir Alex Ferguson, and you look at the players that played under Sir Alex and then went on to manage and become good managers. Well, we're going to have that conversation about Pep, aren't we, soon? Because when Pep was at Barcelona and they were that team, he was the under-21s manager at Barcelona. And it was Pep that gave him his chance. And you look at the final, Arteta, obviously under Pep. Do you know what I mean?
Xabi Alonso under Pep, wasn't he?
Maresca.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there is in that bracket, but you know what I mean? There's always there's almost like these little offsprings of Pep.
There is the La Masia of the Pep Guardiola disciples.
Yep.
And there is something very interesting about what's going on with Spanish managers. Do you know there was a period, wasn't there, when maybe the Dutch managers seemed to like reign supreme? All of the Dutch managers seemed to be like the governors.
Yeah.
And Dick Advocaat, Louis van Gaal. It seemed to be
Rijkaard.
It seemed to be a Dutch thing. I think now there's something very interesting about the Spanish managers.
The Spanish waters right now.
Yeah. And actually there's a pocket, isn't there? Like I think Xabi Alonso and Arteta are from the same neck of the woods.
I wouldn't be surprised if Andoni Areola is from that same neck of the woods as well. There's so many. Cesc Fabregas coming through as a good manager. All right, let's go to the phone lines very quickly. Jason, the Villa fans, obviously heard what we've been saying about Emery and Arteta and wants to have Isse, and also on Arsenal as well. On that debate about Arteta and Emery, because I think it's only between those two as the best manager in the league. You're obviously going to say Emery, but why though? Because as you read out, Dan, you probably heard me read out Dan's message saying he's only winning the small ones, not the big ones, which isn't his fault, but it is true.
Yeah, so, hi gents, how you doing?
How are you, mate?
I picked up on a point earlier that you were saying Arsenal are this massive club with a million followers, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, when you watch Arsenal, and the ground, it's full of foreigners. It's full of tourists. Half and half scarfers. And
still fans though. Still fans. I know what you mean. Don't get me wrong. I know what you mean, but it's still fans.
No, they're not fans.
What are they then?
They want to go to London for a week for a university or whatever, and while they're there, they'll go and want to watch a football match. So. There's bigger clubs around the country where they're packed out every week with their own supporters. Nobody else.
Do you know what, Jason? I kind of, there is no doubt in my mind. Just so you know, before we dissect what you said there about Arsenal, just so you know, I rate Aston Villa incredibly highly in terms of size of club. I think Aston Villa are a huge club, huge history. The whole end in full voice is one of the best sites in English football.
I do Arsenal, and I wish them all the best on Saturday as well.
But in the modern game,
imagine in this big club. They're not a big club. They haven't got a massive fan base.
Jason, including the one that they've just won, they've won 14 league titles. They've won more FA Cups than anyone else. You go back to the Charlie Georgia lying down on the floor, having scored a winner in an FA Cup final. Just like these things are iconic. Fantastic. The way that they won the league at Anfield, these things are iconic. Yeah. Look, mate, I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm from North London as well. I've got no love for Arsenal Football Club, but it's very, very difficult to call them a small club, mate.
I didn't call them a small club. What I'm saying,
okay, to not acknowledge they're a big club, then.
Yeah, their club is attracting tourists, and unfortunately, Villa are going down the same line. It's all about corporate, and they're almost pushing the genuine fan out the door.
What would you, Jace? What would you say is the genuine fan? What makes a genuine fan?
The guys that rock up every week, whether it's snow, rain, shine, whether your team plays badly.
Yeah. What were once called sneeringly legacy supporters, when we were called legacy supporters during the Super League. That is what you're talking about. Home and away season ticket holders, follows their team over Europe, gets relegated, is there the following week, no problem. That kind of fan.
All this corporate, it's encroached into the away supporters as well. Everybody knew that if you're on the away trip, it's the best trip, it's a hardcore supporters, but they're trying to get, nurturing this corporate part of the away support as well. I was in Istanbul last week. It was the best trip I've been on. It was absolutely fantastic, but it was pricing certain elements of the supporter base out of the equation. You're talking £1,000 for flights, you're talking £600 tickets, the whole hotel prices went up. But
Jason, I think there is an epidemic in football where the legacy supporter, I call them that ironically, I hate the term, but it demonstrates the point that Jason was making there. The legacy supporter is the least valued supporter in the stadium. The least valued supporter in the world is the legacy fan, which is a disgrace. They're the heartbeat of the club. The only reason that tourists and television want to go to Anfield or Old Trafford or Villa Park or Stamford Bridge, the only reason that they want to go there is because of the noise and the history that the legacy supporter has created. So there is a major problem, but if you think Arsenal have more of that than someone else, you're possibly correct. But in the modern day definition of the game, that is considered success.
By the way, on that, great call, Jason, as well. Honestly, really good call. Something different. I didn't expect that. I thought we was going to have a little battle about Arteta and Emery. Robbie Lara actually just tweeted about the price it's cost him to get to Budapest. 10 grand.
Yeah, Robbie Lyle finds that down. That's the change down the back of his sofa.
That's just one brand deal.
Don't worry about that, Robbie.
He's surviving. I don't think the bailiffs are knocking on his door. All right, Arsenal fans, give us a call ahead of tomorrow's game. Chances, what do you think? I mean, can you? Surely you don't win a double. I mean, sure, winning the Premier League for the first time in 2 decades. Surely you don't add the trophy you've never won before, the European Cup, or do you? 03717 223344.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting?
Jens Lehmann, the first man ever sent off in a European Cup final. 2006 is the year that Barcelona returned to the summit of European football.
Full-time whistle, a historic night for Arsenal for the first time since 2006. The Gunners are Champions League finalists.
We're gonna prepare that game with the intention to win and write a new story in the club's history.
It's all over. Arsenal have won it. George Graham, he's won just about everything he could win at home, and now he's won an important event in Europe.
They've embraced the past and use that as oxygen going forward to create our new history.
PSG having been in the final last season, that kind of experience is so important when you go into a final like this.
PSG, they've won by 5 goals to 0, and they are finally European champions.
As this game, be honest, as this game has drawn closer, in terms of your percentage chance that you give Arsenal, has it grown because they've now won the league? Or do you still think PSG, isn't it? It's
no. PSG are favourites. They're the favourites for a reason. You extend
what kind of favourites?
A significant favourites.
Okay.
I think you have to extend a courtesy to the reigning champions who have made it to the final for a second season. Regardless of who Paris Saint-Germain were playing, I think they deserve to be seen as favourites. They won it last year, possibly in the most one-sided final since what? Since maybe the AC Milan-Barcelona final, 4-0 AC Milan. Yeah. The most one-sided, dominant final. It was over as a contest. One side in it. Total men against boys. They've now got to the final of the second season, having won their domestic league. They are obviously the favourites. They're probably a better side. And I think it's fair to say that Luis Enrique is a better manager.
Yeah.
However, it's international, it's tournament football. It's an English side versus a French side. It's London versus Paris.
I also think
anything.
Arsenal not having to go as strong and heavy against Palace, having won the league a few days earlier, really helped.
Paris Saint-Germain had a similar luxury, though.
And they've had that luxury. They had that against Liverpool.
Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain have had a similar luxury. But yeah, it has done them a favour because they didn't even have to compete against Palace. No. So all of the tactics could have been about going into Paris Saint-Germain rather than having to worry about Palace.
100%. All right, let's quickly hear from former 4-time league winner with Arsenal, Lee Dixon, who was on talkSPORT earlier today and spoke about Mikel Arteta, saying that he seems a bit calmer this season.
And I've certainly been guilty of this season, of forgetting that it's his first job, this. I know he's been in it 4 years or so, and it is his first job, and he's learning on the job itself. So when we criticise him, and I've been critical of him, of the handbrake and of the nervousness and the energy that he portrays to the players on the pitch, sometimes I think doesn't help. But as I said, I think this season he's definitely calmed down a bit. His instructions, his substitutions have been different. I think his instructions to players has been a calmer way of dealing with things. And I think he's built, obviously the club have stood by him and give him a huge amount of money to create a very, very, possibly the strongest squad in the league. And he's utilised that, and they've got over the line.
Couldn't disagree more with that. I don't think he's calmed down at all. I think he's calmed down in the last couple of weeks because they won the league. I think he's almost just watched the last couple of weeks. No, he looks really calm against Palace. games prior to that, he has still been a madman on the touchline.
Yeah, he does charge around.
He does charge around massively.
To his credit, I would say that he's not a calm manager. I quite enjoy it. Like one of my favourite Chelsea managers, well, in fact, my two favourite Chelsea managers, Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho, were both live wires on the touchline.
Yeah, same as Klopp.
Yeah, I've got
Probably
no
why
issue.
I don't really like Slot.
Yeah, it's all too passive.
It just sits there, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's all too passive.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I do agree. I think that Mikel Arteta he kind of kicks every ball, heads every 50-50. He's there, isn't he? He means it.
He does.
And yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he's particularly calm at all.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 03717 22 3344. Arsenal fans get PSG fans. I mean, feel free, get in touch as well. I'd love to hear from PSG fans. I mean, you won the league, you won the Champions League last season. You've arguably got the best manager in the world and maybe the best players in the world as well. Surely this is a slam dunk. Surely you win your second European title back to back. All right, let's go to Dwayne, the Arsenal fan. Dwayne, I believe you want to have your say on this Arsenal Unai Emery versus Arteta debate.
Yeah, I do. Thanks. Great show, by the way. I had to pull over for this one.
Like Ashley Cole when he got his transfer and he got his contract through.
was that Jason, Villa fan, tried to apply, but Villa was a bigger club than Arsenal? Has he lost his mind?
I think he did. I think he almost made it. From what I heard from him, it's almost as though Villa have more hardcore fans, real quote unquote real fans, than Arsenal fans. Arsenal have gathered the tourists over the years.
Listen, we've got more fans on our season waiting list than they got in a whole stadium. There's absolutely nothing about Villa that's bigger than Arsenal. Not major honours, not fans, not global recognition, not the size of the ground.
Dwayne, do you go Arsenal week in, week out? You got season ticket?
I ain't got a season ticket, but I go to games.
You go to games. Do you? Yeah. If we're being honest, do you see fans that have almost just joined the bandwagon over the years? And that happens. Sometimes I go down to the London Stadium to watch West Ham, and I can see fans that have never been to a football match before, almost taking selfies inside the game, very excited to be there. You must see that of Arsenal.
You do get that, but that happens with popular clubs.
True.
United have the same problem. Liverpool have the same problem. Chelsea got the same problem. All the big clubs have got that problem. So, but we do have a lot. Look at their little parade. We had more people outside on a Tuesday night, more than their whole parade.
Yeah, but look, do you know what, Dwayne? I kind of agree with you. I was pushing back. I don't think by any metric Arsenal can be considered anything other than one of the biggest clubs in the world. I think as an institution, Arsenal are undoubtedly one of the big clubs in the world. The argument would be, this isn't necessarily one that I endorse, but the argument would be, can you be considered top tier when you haven't won a European Cup? Can you be considered top tier when you went 2 decades without winning your domestic league?
I think the Champions League one, that could be a debate. I do feel we do need to get that one over the line, the Champions League, to be really mentioned with the elite, because that's the jab that always gets thrown at us, the Champions League. So
and to be fair,
we need to cross that one off.
Dwayne, it is a fair jab, isn't it? When you look at all the big teams in Europe, like the real serious big teams, your Ajaxes, your Bayern Munichs, Liverpool,
United,
also
from the same city as London, Chelsea won it twice.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
I think it's a fair one. I'll be honest. I think it's a fair one.
Go on, Dwayne. On the game then, tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
Also, wait. Before I chime in, also, just quickly, also on Emery and Arteta, it's impossible, and I say it's impossible for you to be the best manager in the Premier League without a Premier League title. It's impossible.
I think that's a fair argument as well.
You can't be the best manager in the Premier League and you haven't won the Premier League, no matter what.
No, I disagree. I disagree.
I disagree.
I genuinely believe there was a season when Klopp was better than Guardiola. And he didn't win the league. I felt there was a season when Klopp... before he won the league. I think there was a season where Klopp was better than Guardiola. I think Klopp actually won the best manager in the world or something.
In legacy, though, Klopp was never a better manager than Guardiola. Klopp was never a better manager than Guardiola.
I'm saying there was a season when he was. Not overall, of course not.
If he never won the Premier League, no one will be mentioning his name. They will be throwing that jab at him the same way they throw the jab at Gerrard for not winning the Premier League.
It's difficult to argue with you because you obviously had Unai Emery as your manager. So you've experienced what that's like. Whereas I only see him. Look, you're laughing. So I experience him from the outside. And he looks good. But right now, I'm with you. I think Arteta is.
That's what I experienced. Really.
Yeah. Well, go on. How do you think it goes tomorrow? Be honest. Like, try and, if you can, remove your Arsenal hat and just look at both sides.
Okay, I make PSG the favourites, but I feel like now we've got the league title over the line. I feel that the players are going to be a bit more relaxed and give us more of a chance. I think if we didn't win the league, I wouldn't have given us a chance. But I think now they know how to get over the line and they've won the league. I think we've got a bigger chance than we had before. But PSG, I admit, are the favourites. But over one game, anything can happen in the final.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. We've got to go to the break. How many of your Arsenal team get into that PSG 11?
Oh, top of my head, Raya.
Yeah.
Saliba.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Over who? Saliba's better than Marquinhos, is he?
Both of their defend. Both of their
Saliba's better than Marquinhos, is he?
Let him have his time, Rory.
I'm not letting him have his
Let
time.
him have his time. He's got 20 seconds.
Mate, you've got the keeper and that's it. It's 10-1 to PSG.
No, it's not. And Saliba as well. Definitely and Saliba as well.
Yeah, maybe Rice.
Wait, they get the keeper.
I will give you the keeper.
They get the keeper.
Dwayne, great call, my man. You can drive now.
Yeah. It was a great call. I must say, it was a great call from Dwayne. I thought that he presented his arguments brilliantly. You, though, Ade Oladipo, let yourself down in
What
that.
did I say?
You started talking about Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's not in the top 5 managers of the Premier League era.
Arsenal fans, 03717 22 33 come and have your say on the big game tomorrow.
Big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you
See,
very
do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
Straight in. Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, go straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation. We're having the fact that we're having this conversation.
He's coming in with a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war, like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically say, "Oh my God, by the skin of our teeth, we got away."
Bro, you know I don't play for Spurs, right? You know that. I got my whole own thing going on.
No, I don't really get it. But what I do have to do is give a lot of credit to Roberto De Zerbi.
Yeah, fair enough. He done his job. He done well.
He changed his direction.
That was the last swing of the bat, innit? Like getting deserved.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Good evening, Fame Footballers. Friday, Ade Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings. Time is running out. This Monday, someone wins the trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup courtesy of Adidas, and it could be you and a mate. Could be in Dallas, June 17th, England. That's a great prize, isn't it? Dallas, June 17th, England versus Croatia. We're talking flights, hotels, spending money, tickets, and the official Trionda match ball, all included. Just head to talksportwin.com to enter, and for full T's and C's right now. What a prize. What a prize. Are you coming out to America?
Any of the games? Invite, mate. Is this just another way for you to tell everybody that you're going to America?
No, the reason I say that, to be fair, the reason I say that is because you do go to all the World Cups.
Yeah, no, look, if England...
You went Qatar, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you go Russia before that?
I did.
See, that's why I asked you then, because you go to all of them.
I will... If England end up playing in the Azteca in Mexico or something like that,
you'll get a ticket.
I think I will have to fly out.
But you think you can just get a ticket just like that?
Yeah, no. Do you know what I truly believe? I truly believe. Listen, I've gone to a lot of football games in my life. I honestly believe you get there, you get in. I've had many. I've been to Champions League finals in Munich where Chelsea took 40,000. Like, if you go, you get in.
Yeah, it's a good.
Look, you might have to duck and dive.
Got to be in it to win
the best, but if you go, you get in.
Yeah. Obviously, Rory's trying to say he will find a ticket.
Yeah, by hook or by crook.
Yeah. He's not going to sneak in the back door at the Azteca.
Never.
In Mexico. Absolutely no chance.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the phone lines again. Phone lines are open 03717 223344. We're talking all things Arsenal, Arteta versus Emery. Do Arsenal need to win this to finally win a European trophy, or will it be another 20 years to win some silverware? Let's go to Malcolm, the Arsenal fan. Malcolm.
Evening, boys. How are we doing?
Not bad. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Look, thanks for taking the call. Love the show. I was just really calling about the Villa fan that come on and some of the things that he said, and more from a business perspective.
Oh, I love this. Go on.
I think it was quite wrong in his assessment that Arsenal are a tourist club. I was a season ticket holder at Arsenal for 22 years. Family come along, kids, houses and whatever else, and you sort of slowly come away from that. But the model of football clubs have changed over the years, and I think every top club in the Premier League has this same sort of dynamic where they limit the number of season tickets because, like Rory points out rightly, they do treat the legacy fan worse than everybody else because they can make more money off of what the Villa fan chap come on and said are tourists.
You know what I find interesting on that is, I think Rory touched on it as well. Arsenal haven't won anything for a long time. Obviously, look, 6 seasons ago, Arteta won the FA Cup, but it's been a while since you won the league. Tourist fans only normally gravitate to clubs that win stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think Arsenal are a tourist club, because the tourist fans would have gone away a long time. I actually think it's a hardcore fan base.
And I agree, but look, the facts of the matter are, you can't get a ticket for Arsenal now for love nor money, you need to be on the memberships. It's the same at Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, all around the Premier League, so you have to be a member. I'm a member and I don't apply for too many tickets because I've sort of lost the inclination for going, moved a fair distance away, but still try to get the odd ticket here and there. So you need to be a fan to be a member, and you're paying into the club, I'd say, like Chelsea do and like Liverpool, Man United, etc. So the dynamics of the world as well will change. If that club can charge you, like they do now, up to £100 plus for a ticket, then it is just about tourists. I get it, because the younger generation, and I've got my daughter and my son into going to Arsenal, and they love it. They love it and they enjoy it. But they can't go on their own anymore with just their friends unless they get tickets because someone can't go. They can't afford £100 a ticket each, and it's not just £100. So the dynamic of people's lives change as well. It's not just about, tourists, in inverted commas. It's about fans that sometimes can't get the tickets.
What about out there, Malcolm? You'll dominate the support out there, won't you? Out in Budapest, there'll be far more Arsenal than Paris Saint-Germain fans, don't you think?
Without any question whatsoever.
Yeah. Were you confident about the game? Do you think you get the result?
Well, look, I'll take a scabby 1-0 win. I don't care how they win it. As long as they win it, I'll take it. Because in 2 years' time, you will not remember the standard of football which was played on the grass. It will be the Arsenal's name on the trophy, and that'll be, there like Chelsea is and like Man United before and Liverpool, etc. So I don't care how they win. I'll take a 1-0 win. I do believe that Paris Saint-Germain are a far better footballing side right now. Notwithstanding, if you look at the standard of football Arsenal are playing at the beginning of the season, they were blowing teams away. So I think the conversation that goes on then to, Arteta and Unai Emery, Arsenal were playing the far better football. Was Emery given a chance at Arsenal? No, I don't think he was. Was he the right fit? We'll never know. And he does a good job. He's a good manager. But Arteta's taken us a long way as a football club, not just a team, as a football club. So, and I think we will dominate the support out there. And going back to the tourist club, Paris Saint-Germain, Look at the number of shirts they've sold around the world to tourists because they bought the dream team.
Got a shop on Oxford Street now.
They have got a shop on Oxford.
Shop on Oxford Street, yeah.
Price of their shirts as well. Very quickly, bring back up, Malcolm. Malcolm, very quickly, on like, you hear the word project being thrown around a lot, and it was thrown around a lot with Arteta about the project. Did you always have belief that this project would work? Was there a time when you started to get a bit nervous, like, okay, second, semi-final, final, not winning stuff? Was you always confident?
I wouldn't say always, but I would say that if you look at the number of managers that Arsenal have had for what? Since the 30s? I think we've had something like 14 managers. So
Chelsea have had that in 5 years.
Yeah. Far off that this season.
Every 14 minutes. But look, that's not blaming their model. You know, goes back to my original point. These are businesses, and the people at the top are running businesses now, and they have projects. I work in a business that turns over £300 million a year. And yeah, you set up projects and they don't always work, and you have to chip away at those projects, and they do work eventually if you've got enough belief and conviction in what you do. And I believe that the board have backed the right man, which is now clear to see, and the success that he's had. Okay, one bit of silverware in the last 3 or 4 years. You know, let's take away the FA Cup, because you could say that was someone else's team and he sort of got on the back of a wave there. But he's won a trophy. He's put it in the cupboard, and it has been a project. Did I believe in it wholly? I would say 75%. I'd have belief in the club, and I think that's now been borne out with their decision to stick with him.
Well done, Malcolm. Great call, top man.
Great work.
Did he just say he has a business that turns over 300 million a year? Can someone get his number for me, please? Any vacancies where you are? Well done to him. Congratulations. Very quickly, before we wrap up this PSG Arsenal chat, I asked, was it Dwayne I asked to call it, how many Arsenal players would get into the PSG 11? I'll ask you the same question. How many? Do you just really... be serious.
I'm being really serious.
You don't think Declan Rice gets in?
I think David Raya is the best goalkeeper in Europe. So David Raya gets in.
Yeah.
I think you can maybe argue Declan Rice gets in, but over who? Fabian Ruiz, maybe?
Yeah.
But equally...
Gabriel or Saliba is better than Pacho?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
What are we doing? Why are you doing this?
I genuinely don't think so.
They were the best centre-back partnership in Europe for at least 3/4 of the season, and all of a sudden you just don't think one of them... They don't concede goals. They don't concede goals.
There's levels to the game. Pacho and Marquinhos were the centre-half pairing when they won the European Cup last year. Yeah, that's my point. You can't just say yes and move on. That's literally my point.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, no,
you could look. Definitely David Raya. David Raya gets in. If Luis Enrique had access to all of the Arsenal players and all of the Paris Saint-Germain players, he picks David Raya.
Yeah.
I don't believe he picks an Arsenal centre-half. I don't believe he picks an Arsenal defender.
He'll take Declan Rice over Fabian Ruiz.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's
two.
No,
none of Arsenal's forwards, obviously.
Okay.
And is Hakimi better than Timber?
Yeah.
Come off it. You can't pause. Hakimi is one of the best right-backs of all time.
I still gave you the answer. I said, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you paused.
Sorry for pausing and catching a breath.
Some sort of dramatic effect.
Sorry, yeah.
Close.
I needed music. Where was Marco for music?
Yeah, it's not close.
I needed music.
Close at all.
All right, big game. Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain Champions League from Budapest. Go on, score prediction. Mr. Confident.
I've got a terrible feeling. I've got a terrible feeling. Look, I think... can I give you two scorelines?
Go on. They get battered.
After 90 minutes, it finishes 1-1 and Arsenal nick it. It's a 1-1 after 90 minutes or 3-0 Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
Out of those two scorelines, I really don't know.
I actually think it's going to be a good game of football, though.
Yeah. If Paris Saint-Germain go 1-0 up...
early, it's done.
Then I think, yeah. If Arsenal, however, go 1-0 up, then you could see a Jose Mourinho when he was at Inter Milan in the Nou Camp. Like, Arsenal might defend for their lives.
Mm.
And what's the instruction? Like, I think a lot of people are reducing Arsenal's threat to set pieces.
That's it, though.
I think they're better than that. I think they'll come out and they'll go for the jugular. I think they have to.
They'll come out and go for corners. 5 o'clock, presented by Adrian Durham alongside Jim Proudfoot and former England captain Stuart Pearce. Should be a cracker. It's live on talkSPORT. Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain in Champions League final from Budapest. All right, up next, we're going to turn our attention to another big trophy, the biggest of them all, the World Cup, with the England players travelling out there on Monday.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage, and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age, and bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton, and how we deal with these situations. Do we have to be a little bit careful with him?
We definitely have to be, because we forget he's only 19. I mean, for me, I've got a 17-year-old. He's 18 in a few weeks. They're still learning about life. They've got so much to learn. They're kids. His mistakes that he's probably made, doing the crying faces, he's going to make more mistakes. He's a 19-year-old boy. Like grown men are in a crowd booing him, hurling abuse. Do you know what I mean? I played with loads of players that in training, they were fantastic players. On a game day, they couldn't handle the effect of the crowd. And I could.
So do you think there was players that played in your dressing room
100%.
that were equally as talented and gifted, maybe better than some of those that were in the team, but they couldn't deal with the expectation?
They couldn't deal with the expectation, but also the abuse you get from the stands. The fans having a go at you, opposition fans. Not all players can handle it.
How did you deal with it?
I was fine. I mean, I ended up giving them back, and it spurred me on. I was total like one of a kind, where I actually enjoyed it because it made me want to score even more and celebrate to annoy the fans even more. But back to Luke Littler, he's a 19-year-old. 19. Give the lad a break because it's not nice to see that after yesterday, and you see him in tears and what he was going to quit.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Trippier. Oh, it's in! What a start for England!
It's the dawn of a new era, and we do have an elite manager, and we have got some elite players.
Kane! The roar says it all. England are turning around.
If you're talking about fun, I'll say they have to win it. If you're talking reality, I think getting to the semi-finals is great.
Defensively is the question mark, where are we going to be good enough collectively, defensively, to bring some silverware home?
And in this sort of form, who will be able to stop them at the World Cup? England look like world beaters again.
The greatest World Cup song ever.
By a mile.
Like there's nothing even close. Oh. Skinner and Baddiel. It's not a million miles away. Three Lions is not a million miles away.
Three Lions certainly deserves a mention. I believe we might be hearing a new one a little bit later as well.
A new entry to the pack, yeah?
New entry.
Okay.
To the greatest.
Okay, half an hour. And I'll be very honest about the entry, by the way. It'll be like a Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah.
I'll give nil points.
But
if I need to give nil points.
As things stand, until we hear this new entry, I agree with you. Like, World in Motion is in a league of its own. The second that you hear it, you suddenly believe, don't you? The second you hear it, you want to put a bucket hat on, you want to have a pint, and you want to believe that England are going to make history.
There is something about that, you're right. You know what? Listening to that, it makes me really feel sorry now for the players that thought they were going that haven't made the cut. Like, you know, like if you're a Morgan Gibbs-White and the Harry Maguire, I don't know, the others were on the cusp, but if you're Harry Maguire, you probably think, I'm going. I've had a good back end to the season. He probably looks around at the Premier League, who's going? Concer's going, Gay's going, then surely it's me. I'm probably the next in the line. I really, really feel sorry for those players now.
I think it's a disgrace. I think Thomas Tuchel's already made a pig's ear of it, and I agree with you. I think you can kind of justify certain players not going. Like, if you wanted to tell me that Cole Palmer shouldn't have gone, I would have argued he should. Cole Palmer scored for England in Berlin against Spain. He was the last player to score for England in a Euros final. I would argue that he should have gone. If you wanted to tell me he shouldn't, I would probably be okay with it if Phil Foden was going. Equally, if you didn't think Phil Foden should go, Morgan Gibbs-White simply has to go. But leaving all three of them out is a travesty. I think Luke Shaw also scored for England in a Euros final.
Okay, so he said leaving all three out. He's took 3 number 10s. Right, he's taken Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham, and Emre Chieze.
Yeah.
Who don't you take then out of those 3?
No, I don't take the way that I would do it. I wouldn't. Madueke. Madueke going instead of Cole Palmer is ludicrous. It's absurd. It's nonsense. Equally, I think Phil Foden could go instead of maybe Ivan Toney. I don't think it's right that Ivan Toney's gone. I think that when you go and play football in Saudi, you get an amazing lifestyle. You make more money than you could have ever dreamed. Your grandchildren's future is secure. So I understand why people go and play in Saudi. And if I was given the opportunity, I'd go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging anybody for making that decision. But there is one problem with it. I don't think you should be able to be selected for international football, and it becomes even more apparent.
When you say that, do you say that because you don't know the level, or almost like as soon as you cross that line to go, you're done? Or are you talking about you don't know what the level is?
The level is
that your argument?
You wouldn't take a player that wasn't playing. You wouldn't take a player from the Championship, would you? It's not as good as the Championship, that level of football out there. It's just not. It's just not. Therefore, I don't think that you should be.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'll tell you the bigger problem. Thomas Tuchel's journeys as England manager are logged. Since he became England manager, he hasn't even been to Saudi Arabia. So what's he basing this on? What's he basing the Ivan Toney selection on?
But TV? You can watch the game on the TV.
Surely your responsibility, if you are going to take somebody to an England tournament, is to go and potentially extend a courtesy where you watch them play football.
I'm sure he's got, chief scouts that have done that. But you're right. If you're a Welbeck who's had a decent season in the toughest league in the world, you're probably thinking, 1 second, I should have maybe got the call up.
I think it is absurd. I think so many of the how's Adam Wharton not going? How's Jordan Henderson in the squad that Adam Wharton's not in?
Different type of players, though, aren't they?
Okay, how is Luke Shaw not gone and Jed Spence has?
Yeah, that's
like Jed Spence. People go to me, I bet he's really quick. I bet he's rubbish.
You know what though? No matter what 26 he named, you'd be moaning about something.
I don't think I would.
There was never a perfect 26. You would.
No, okay, and maybe that's true. Maybe we would find. Maybe we will always find something that doesn't chime with the way we see the situation. But if I'd said to you before anything, there'll be no Foden, no Palmer, no Gibbs-White. So the second that you hear Palmer's not going,
I think Foden's going.
You think Foden and Gibbs-White are going?
Yeah.
The second that you hear Foden's not going, you immediately think, okay, Palmer and Gibbs-White are going.
Yeah.
Once you hear Foden and Palmer aren't going, Gibbs-White is a tap-in. And he hasn't taken him either. Also, just in terms of meritocracy, deserving to go. Morgan Gibbs-White has been unreal. Came alive when his team needed him most. He kept a team in the Premier League, scoring hat-tricks on the way to keeping a team in the Premier League, scoring away at Tottenham.
What he doesn't have, Morgan Gibbs-White, compared to Phil. Phil's got nearly 50 caps for England. I think might have that, actually. Doesn't have caps. So he doesn't have like that credit in the bank of an England stalwart that's done it for years, so you can't leave him out. Do you know what I mean? So he's playing at a team that's struggling in the league, and he hasn't played that many times for England anyway.
No, but that's where the hypocrisy stems from. So if you want to take experience, fine, but you haven't taken Harry Maguire. If you don't like the idea of taking somebody who isn't, like, the whole thing reeks of hypocrisy. And this is Tuchel's England. We've sold our soul for this. Like, we have sold our soul down the road.
It's a 26-man squad. Let's be very brutal about this. 16 players will see the pitch. We're moaning about the 11 that won't even carry water bottles.
No, but the players that I'm talking about, I think
would have seen. They're the game changers.
Ade, I would say that of the players that haven't gone,
who's the biggest player left out? If there's one, who is the biggest player that should have been in?
I think you could argue with the attacking players, but if I were picking my starting England 11, Harry Maguire's in it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Harry Maguire should start for England. Of course he should. I've been very scathing about Harry Maguire.
Over Stones and Gahey.
The problem with John Stones is fit. John Stones is obviously a better player than Harry Maguire. But John Stones' fitness isn't better than Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has had a far better season than John Stones.
Harry Maguire's had a far better 3 months. I think we almost forget. I think that Harry Maguire thing. He wasn't even in the squad at the start of the season. He was out of the squad, wasn't he? He's worked his way back in. I'm with you. By the way, I think Harry Maguire should have been in. I'm with you.
Since Michael Carrick came, you look at the resurgence of Manchester United under Carrick. You look at the good work done by Michael Carrick, but also by Steve Holland, by Jonathan Woodgate, by Johnny Evans. Harry Maguire is at the epicentre of the Manchester United resurgence.
Agreed.
It is a nonsense that he doesn't go. You've got a situation where two of the best delivery takers in the world, in Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice, perfection on corners. Harry Maguire.
Dan Burn can do that. Dan Burn can do exactly.
Dan Burn being in England.
But Dan Burn can do exactly what you're saying. Harry Maguire can do,
can't.
Which is get his head on a corner.
Dan Burn is nowhere near as good a player. Dan Burn has been playing for a pitiful Newcastle team. Dan Burn has been ineffective and is at best the kindest thing you can say about him. And I've got no issue with Dan Burn, but he's an all right Premier League footballer. Harry Maguire is clearly a proven international footballer. There are levels to the game, and people were being very snide to Harry Maguire and his family, saying that it proved why he was left out when he took to social media to vent his anger. They were saying that it was unedifying.
He didn't really vent his anger, did he?
His brother did. Can I just say, I've given Harry Maguire a lot of stick, and in fact, on one occasion when I gave him some stick, I'm not saying it was aimed at me, but his mum came out and defended him. I didn't think that was necessary. Like, I didn't think it was necessary. Like, Harry Maguire, I've given Harry Maguire.
Why should he think he's in the squad? Like, he almost that message was almost as though he thought he was in. Why should he think?
I'll tell you why I think it's important. This might make me sound like a very old-fashioned type, but I believe when you play for your country, it's an honour. And I like players that want to play for their country. I think when you play for your country, which is why I'm not having Ben White, you play for your country, you do your top button up, you sing the national anthem, you put your hands behind your back, and you are proud to wear the shirt. Harry Maguire demonstrating that he is heartbroken at not being selected. Harry Maguire demonstrating to the country that he wants to do his bit for us.
But as the leader he is, and I look at Harry Maguire as a leader, he's done that before the squad's even announced. Wait till the squad's announced, then do that.
You could argue that. You could argue that the timing was wrong. You could argue that he broke a trust.
That alone tells me there's an issue already. By the way, him doing that tells me there's an issue.
But what I'm saying is, the fact that he did that means that I want him in the squad. The fact that he cares enough. He's a professional guy, Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
His career has largely been very professional. And in this moment, he has kind of broken that professionalism and reacted maybe emotionally. Do you not want emotional footballer? Like, do we not love Stuart Pearce in his country because he was so emotional and loved playing for England? Do we not look back on Euro 96 because it was full?
That almost seems...
Paul Ince belting the anthem.
You say that, and look, you know Thomas Tuchel haven't managed Chelsea. But that almost seems anti-Thomas Tuchel, what you're talking about, the emotion like that.
I like... The two things are very different. When you talk to me about Thomas Tuchel through a Chelsea lens, it's very different for an England lens. As a Chelsea manager, I will be forever grateful to him. What he did was exceptional. But I'm also a Chelsea fan that can remember what it was like under him. And there is a myth that has been built around Thomas Tuchel, that he is a winner. Yeah, he's won.
That's the one who won the Champions League with you. He's a winner.
He did. Absolutely.
That's a winner then.
No, it's not. I remember going to an FA Cup final when we got beat by Brendan Rodgers' Leicester. When Thomas Tuchel led Chelsea out at Wembley wearing a cap. Now we made him our international manager. It's absurd that Thomas Tuchel is England.
I'd almost hate it and love it for you for him to win the World Cup.
Mate, we got beat by Liverpool.
I'd almost hate and love it for you. Because there's a part of you that's going to, obviously you're going to celebrate like a madman. There's a part of you that's going to want to try and hold it in because Thomas Tuchel's won it.
Yeah, I don't think Thomas Tuchel, I don't think England should have a German manager. Weirdly, that's positioned now as me saying something that's like controversial. This is the least controversial thing I think you will ever hear, but for some reason people portray this as me being a bit left.
No, I agree. It should be your country versus our country, and it should be the best of you versus
Absolutely.
the best of us. Yeah,
that's what international football is.
Yeah. That's just international sport.
International football should be a representation of the best of what we can offer.
Agreed.
Thomas Tuchel isn't the best of what we can offer.
Everything. I'm talking the whole way down the line, like even everything. Medics, sports science, us versus you.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But the squad, I don't know if I've ever felt kind of going into a World Cup like less enthused. I'm sure that will change. Like it changed a little bit when I heard the intro to World in Motion moments ago.
Good squad. Stop it. Stop moaning. It's a good squad.
Do you think this squad wins it? Because by the way,
no, I don't think the squad wins it because I look at I look at the France squad.
Mate, if we don't win it, it's a failure.
Are you mad? Have you had a look at the Spanish and French squads? One second. Have you had a look at can someone bring up so we can read the French and Spanish squads? Have you had a look at those?
Maybe they've got better squads, but we in theory have a better manager because we have gone and appointed a manager that we shouldn't have appointed. So we have taken the shortcut. So we should be better placed to win it than them because we have sacrificed our soul. We have sold Gareth Southgate down the river. We have got rid of the Howard Wilkinson pathway. For what? All for what? If we don't win it, we've sacrificed our soul for
a winner. All right, England fans, come and give us a call. How are you and your excitement levels leading up to this tournament? Maybe you're like Rory still. You've not got over it. A German managing the England squad. 03717 223344.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, David. Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Champions! Champions!
Tell us about the song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called We're Going All the Way by my artist named Guna Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out. And there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game. And then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Rewriting history. Unbeaten every game we played. Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. We're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on.
Terrible, David.
You'll be singing it in your sleep in no time.
Do me one favour, David. Never sing that again, please. Thank you, mate.
David.
Singing it every day, all night long.
Yeah, don't let the anti-Arsenal stop you, David. Thank you very much for your call.
I'm going for a break.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's going to be
Bye-bye.
okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Just hang tight.
Racket.
The greatest and most prestigious football tournament in the world.
We are inviting the world back.
And Brazil win the World Cup.
We're really excited to continue the preparations and get ready to welcome the world.
And so to the football. It's Iniesta to win the World Cup for Spain. The magic matches and the fantastic football. Germany in seventh heaven. Brazil in footballing hell. And France are the World Cup winners in 2018. Anyone could win this World Cup. Mbappe has a hat-trick. He has his place in history.
To all the French team, we love you, and we're going to come back in 4 years.
25 yards out, right of centre, left-footed corner! Oh my goodness! Harry Kane attacking it. Stoops, conquers, and England leads.
I think everything is possible, but we have to make it possible.
Well, it will be a fantastic event. There will be 104 Super Bowls in 1 month.
Scotland are going to the World Cup finals! Kenny McLean!
The real test now will be when we get there. How can we turn up?
Dust off your passports, pack your suitcases. England are on their way.
Honestly, I love it. Can't wait. Can't wait for the World Cup to start. Get started June 11th. It's the first game. Let's hope we are talking about a good World Cup. And not just for England, but for all the players. You do want the best players in the world to turn up. And the best players almost signing off as well. The likes of Luka Modric going, obviously Ronaldo going, Messi going, and, by the way, some breaking news. The man who's going to the World Cup is now going to Barcelona. I'm talking about former Newcastle. It's weird to say that now, isn't it? Former Newcastle left-sided forward Anthony Gordon has signed for Barcelona for £69.3 million.
I tell you what we have learned in this. We have learned that Anthony Gordon has the best agent in world football.
That's Morata.
I just can't believe it. Anthony Gordon playing for Barcelona, that is just absurd. He's had a tragic season. He's been abysmal for Newcastle United. Stat padded against Qarabag, thieving penalties. It's unbelievable.
You know what's very interesting, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about Anthony Gordon. We'll talk about Konate a bit later on in the show as well. I think a lot of players now are signed based on numbers and stats as opposed to just watching.
Well, Anthony Gordon's not. His numbers and stats are abysmal.
They'll look at his runs. They'll look at all things like that. And by the way, 17 goals ain't to be sneered at.
I have never, ever seen him have a good game. Ever. I've never got it. I've never, ever got it. When he was at Everton and Chelsea were linked, I was like, what are we doing?
You know what they do, by the way? I think a lot of these foreign sides, I don't think they necessarily watch him in the Premier League. They watch them in the Champions League. You got 10 in the Champions League.
Yeah, 10, but 4 against
Doesn't matter. He plays for Newcastle.
Wait, why doesn't it matter?
Because he's playing for Newcastle, not a massive Champions League team, and he's scoring against other not-so-big teams.
Qarabag aren't a Champions League team in the true definition of what you mean by that, right? Scoring goals against Qarabag doesn't mean... Well, if you say Champions League goals, I'm thinking that you're pinging in 2 in the...
Do you not think he's a good footballer at all?
Gordon?
Yeah, be honest.
He's an all-right Premier League footballer.
Okay.
I think he's an all-right bloke who should have an all-right Premier League career who will ultimately end up...
He's proving you all-right wrong.
If you were to ask me to name 50 wingers better than Anthony Gordon in the history of the Premier League, I would do it with ease. I'd start with Andy Sinton.
You know the problem is, yeah? I don't have the time to do that. You couldn't do it.
50
you
wingers
could not
better
do
than...
it. You couldn't do it.
50 wingers in the history of the Premier League better. Of course I could. I immediately do half a dozen at one club like Man United. Immediately. Like Andy Sinton. You don't have to go massive with it. You're Andy Impey. Andy Impey at Queen's Park Rangers.
See what you're doing here?
Andy Impey at Queen's Park Rangers was a better winger. This is not controversial.
He wasn't.
Andy Impey at Queen's Park Rangers in that team with like Les Ferdinand, Trevor Sinclair. Andy Impey was a better player than Anthony Gordon.
Andy Gordon's a good footballer. Not having it. It's a Scouse, a good footballer. So many texts coming in, by the way, about Harry Maguire. I'll just quickly read a couple before me and Rory get into an argument about Gordon. Maguire is a much better centre-half than Stones. Simple as head kick, tackle. Every team needs one. That's not true. How is Quansah better than Maguire? You draw Quansah in. That's a bit of a surprise as well, isn't it? Look, I haven't watched a lot of Bayer Leverkusen.
Mate, that's not even the question, right?
Go on.
How on earth is... If Quansah's in and Byrne is in, how can Maguire not be? Playing for Manchester United. playing for Manchester United, a starter for Manchester United, a Manchester United team that under Carrick accrued more points than anyone, a Manchester United team that finished third in the league. How can that player not be in this tournament?
My last one I'll quickly read out. You two, this is from Dean, says, you two do know that Konsa exists, won the Europa League and finished fourth. Stones and Maguire ain't starting anyway. I do actually think it will be Konsa and Gahey, by the way. I don't think Stone's going to be fit enough to start the games, but he'll definitely have an impact. Let's go to the phone lines, 03717 223344. We are talking the World Cup, England's first game against Croatia. Remember, all the games will be live across the talkSPORT network. Let's go to Jim, Sunderland fan. Jim, excited for the World Cup?
Oh, very excited. This is my. I was alive when we won it in '66.
Wow,
you know,
son.
And saying it again, but I think that we can do it. You know, there's a lot of things that similarities I see between the manager in '66, Alf Ramsey, and Tuchel. And one thing that I like, right, that Tuchel said and Ramsey said, it's not about individuals, the best players. It's about the team. Now, I've heard Rory, criticize who's in the team and who's not in the team. But, thinking back to the Alf Ramsey thing, if I remember correctly, my memory's not that good these days, that Ramsey got a lot of stick in the press because he picked Jeff Hurst for the final instead of Jimmy Graves. Now, individually, Jimmy Graves was the best goal scorer in the UK at the time, and he was playing for a top team. Was it Tottenham he used to play for? I can't remember.
It was Tottenham and Chelsea.
Yep.
Yeah. So, take Ivan Toney, for instance. I love Ivan Toney, the only football I get to see, right, is Match of the Day, all right, because I've got terrestrial. So I used to watch Ivan Toney when he played for, was it Brentford?
It was.
Yeah. And the first time I seen him, right, a ball came over from the wing into the box, right? He stuck his foot in the air as high as his head, and that ball stuck to his foot. He's very skillful player,
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good. Jim, can I just get your opinion on something?
Yeah.
I rate Sunderland. I have a lot of respect for Sunderland. I appreciate the history of the club. I see them as a huge football club, and I wish them well. When Ade Oladipo and I did our pre-season predictions last year...
Why are you bringing me into this?
Ade Oladipo suggested that they were going to finish 20th. They finished 7th. What, do you have a message for him?
Well, you said 20th as well. He said, before you go, Jim, before you take my head off, he said 20th as well.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know where Sunderland were going to finish, to be honest. And I think I was like a lot of Sunderland fans in as much as I thought, well, as long as they stay in the Premiership. So, it was marvellous what they did.
Absolutely.
But getting back to the England squad, Harry Maguire, I was over the moon and they left him out.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. I mean, I heard you going on about how great he is for Manchester United, but that's just been in the last 3 months. You've got to think about this, right? They're not playing for the clubs. They're playing for England.
And how does Harry Maguire generally do when he plays for England?
When he's played for England in the past, he's been really, really good. Look, if you watched him in the build-up to this World Cup playing for England, he just wasn't that good. And there's something, when Harry Maguire gets the ball, I get nervous, right? And I think, have you seen him when he's moving forward, right? When he moves forward with the ball, he tap it a foot forward, then another foot forward, another foot forward. He looks like he's a bag of nerves himself.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's a great call, Jim. We wish you well.
Jim, fantastic call. Watching it at 66. Incredible. Honestly, incredible. Great to hear that energy. All right, let's go to Tom. I believe the Manchester United fan wants to have his say about Maguire.
Right.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I just kind of wanted to... Sorry, it's about Tuchel, about that point that Rory made before, if that's all right.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think it'd be a failure of an appointment if he doesn't win the World Cup. I don't think we will, but I think he's not going to be around for the Euros because he's probably going to find another club to manage by then. So he's got sort of one tournament to make all this worth it, and if he doesn't, then it's a failure.
You know the thing with that, Tom, is that obviously, look, Southgate was going. I almost don't think there was a ready-made replacement. I don't think Eddie Howe was going to take it. I think Eddie Howe was still at the time invested in the Newcastle project. So it's almost a case of who then? Who was going to be the man to step up?
Why did Gareth Southgate have to leave though? Because didn't he get sacked? Like he didn't walk, did he? I thought he got sacked. Like we could have just kept him. He was our most successful manager for the past however long, for as long as I can remember anyway.
Yeah, so I think look, you can argue. You could easily argue. Tom, I agree with you. You could easily argue that Southgate should have stayed. I probably wouldn't have agreed. But the point is, even if it is a difficult decision, even if it is a difficult selection, that's the point. It's difficult. There was a period where it was very difficult to pick various positions with England. The third choice central midfielder, for example, we didn't have an obvious candidate. They're the punches, man. That's what you've got to deal with. Is there an obvious elite level English manager? No. But you can only fish in that pool.
I almost feel like it's an arrogance, though, to say if you don't win, it's failure.
No, because it's not about believing that we have a divine right to win. We certainly don't.
No, but you say we made the change to make
exactly.
To win,
if you sacrifice all of your soul, if you sacrifice all of your principles, you better do it for a reason.
We've sacrificed these principles before. With Sven, with Fabio Capello,
is it slightly different? It's slightly different. I don't think we should have done that. You know, I really don't think that we should have done that. Sven Goran Eriksson, it didn't work, did it? There has never been, in fact, in the history of the game been a foreign manager that has won a tournament, Euros, Copa America, anything. Never.
I'd love to know, and I think we probably do, how the Brazilians have taken Carlo Ancelotti. Be interesting. Interesting. That was the first foreign.
If you want to know,
manager.
I was on this show. I was on Drive on talkSPORT, and I had the honour of speaking to Gilberto Silva, the Arsenal Invincible.
Yeah.
And he said that he thinks it should be a Brazilian guy. Like Brazilian football's not in a great spot, so they had to make their peace with Ancelotti. But it's also important to remember that historically, unless I'm mistaken here, and an Italian or a Brazilian will have to call up and tell me, there is no major rivalry between Brazil and Argentina. Carlo Ancelotti is an icon of football.
Italy and Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. Italy and Brazil. England and Germany are it's one of the oldest footballing rivalries.
Very true.
It really doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. But if he wins. All right, keep the calls coming in. We are talking England. We are talking the World Cup. Be interesting to get your views on other teams that you think can win the World Cup. I'm sticking my neck out. Well, not really. I'm saying France are going to win it. France or Spain. That's easy, isn't it?
Cool, mate. You're brave. You're sticking your neck out, are you, with France and Spain? What left field shouts?
Yeah, it's quite. Yeah. We'll see anyway. 03717 22 33 come and have your say.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August, 2013. And that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asks me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in, and I don't mean you've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, saying you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabby, that is a conflict of contradiction. You have an apparent bias against Arsenal, and you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabby.
Joe,
For goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you to have a bad day because of me. I want you to enjoy your day. The weather's good. I want you to be happy, Joe.
Joe, that was brilliant. That was some rant. I really enjoyed that. Keep them coming in. 03717 2233.
I don't mean to do that to Joe.
Yeah, no.
I don't like that
got
he's
it.
having bad days.
Yeah, you're
because of
right.
me.
You're right.
I want to have a very good day listening to us on the radio.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't like it, there's a button in your car, and you just turn that off.
Yeah, but listen, everything that Joey says there. Listen, I want him to have a very good day.
Yeah.
I want him to have listen to talkSPORT and be happy. But I want PSG to still win.
Yeah. You really wound him up this morning.
I love Paris though. It's one of my favourite cities. I love PSG, the way they play, their manager. Kvaratskhelia is my favourite player. I'm a big fan of Nuno Mendes at left back as
How's
well.
your French?
It was difficult at school. Yeah.
Because English is hard for you as well,
exactly,
isn't it?
and Scottish.
Stripes, bottle of blue, Friday nights, bucket hats, Parker zips, 3 lines loud, voice half ripped, Union dreams, Britpop lies, Air Max hope and let it cry. We thought that football meant we'd belong, 96 still hurts that song. All my life, I've never seen it, I've never felt it. All my life,
Wow, there you go. There's a reason we played that out for a bit longer than the usual. That is Half-Timers Englishman All My Life featuring Carlton Cole and Marco, who's in the studio now with us. You know, I'm gonna have to admit, Marco, I didn't expect it to be that good. I didn't expect
That is a banger.
That is a really good song. It's a proper song. So I think it's one of those that's going to get going. You know when it starts to roll down the hill and then it just goes bang?
I'm hoping to create a cultural moment. That's the dream.
What is it with you in creating these sort of football English songs? Where's it come from?
It's just become a bit of an obsession. I just want to be in the top 5 of England songs. So, like, it was quite interesting the chat you guys were having earlier.
Go on, what's your 5 at the moment?
Well, I mean, I don't think there is a top 5. I think there's a top 3. So I feel like there's a space for me. Like, come on, help me out, guys. Like, I just want to be in that top 5. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes. It was, you guys said about World in Motion, but other people say that theirs is, Three Lions. And some people say that about Vindaloo. It's very interesting. Everyone has their own favourite. And I think it's what happens in that tournament. What's like the mood in the country at the time. And it's just like, you just need a bit of luck and for people to sort of buy into it. And it becomes what that summer becomes.
You've done songs before, yeah?
This is my 4th.
This is the fourth World Cup, or you done Euros as well?
So I did the World Cup for, it was 33-1 for Christmas #1 in 2022 for the Qatar World Cup. Coming Home for Christmas, that's a really good song. So I'd say that's my second best. And then I did one for the Lionesses because we had to pay tribute to their World Cup win. So I did one for their World Cup called She's a Baller. And then I did an ode to Gareth for the Euros because I was a big Gareth Southgate fan. So I did one for him. And that was pretty decent. That got a lot of coverage.
Carlton Cole was the choice there. That was the voice of Carlton Cole you guys heard there, former Chelsea, England and West Ham striker. Where did you grab Carlton from? Was this always a dream to get Carlton on, or did he kind of say, let me jump on?
Well, do you know what? Me and Carlton have been working together on the Sports Bar Weekender for a couple of years now. And, when he's sometimes Madge covers for Adam Cattrall, and he's always sort of, they're talking about music. There's a bit of crossover, a bit of garage, and he does a little bit of MCing. So I was like, all right, let's see if he's really up for it. And I played him the demo. Next day he was in the studio laying down the bars, and I think he's done a really good job. And he's the next John Barnes, isn't he? Like he's smashed it.
He does a great job on it.
He does, to be fair.
He does a really good job. I think it's a banger. I really do. I think it's brilliant, Marco. So it's called. The song is called Englishman, and it's by the Half-Timers.
Yeah,
so that's your band.
Yeah, so I am the Half-Timers. It's like the Half-Timers is basically me and whoever I can sort of rope in to help me sort of make.
So you're a one-man band at the moment?
Yeah, I would say. Well, no, there's two of us. It's me and Carlton this time, but maybe I'll be asking you guys to be in the next.
Abby, I've got a great voice.
It would be an honour. I'm completely tone deaf.
Yeah,
but it would be an honour.
But yeah, I think I'm just going to want to pull in different stars like each time. Each tournament. So
How do we make this go bang? I mean, this is the biggest and greatest radio show on planet Earth. How do we get this song into the top 5, top 10, maybe even numero uno when it comes to the charts? How does that work?
Well, exactly. I mean, Carlton said, "Listen, it's a good. If it's a good product, I can help you sell it." And I really do think we have something good here.
Can we play it out again a bit more? Can we, Marco, who, by the way, runs the desk, do you have to go down and play it for us? Or
do it for us?
Yeah.
I think Ollie's more than capable.
Is Ollie? Got this. There you go. Let's listen to it a bit more. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh, Marco.
Mate, I suddenly feel like England are going to win the World Cup.
It's got a bit of nostalgia. Basically, it's about an Englishman who was born in 1967. So all his life, he's never seen it. He's never felt it. So, I take you on a journey.
So it's almost like an Arsenal fan, born 20 years ago, never seen them win the league.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was thinking
I'm an Arsenal fan. You can literally put the word.
My producer was too busy. I did actually want to remix it for the Champions League. All my life, I've never seen
That's
it.
What I'm saying.
Never felt the big ears.
You had the chance to 2 songs there in one. You kind of messed up. Half-Timers available now.
Yeah,
download
all of the platform, buy it. I mean, stream it, leave it on stream on your phone. I hope you guys like it. I'm trying to capture the mood of the nation, and hopefully this will help us get to glory.
Well, this is the best show to plug it. Well done. Honestly,
love it,
fingers crossed. Hopefully it does really well. Half-Timers, Englishman, All My Life featuring Carlton Cole. Marco, what a voice you've got, by the way, as well.
A lot of auto-tune, though. Let's be
I knew it. I was thinking, don't really sound like that. I didn't want to tell you that. You didn't really sound like that.
When have you ever heard me sing?
Never. Mark, honestly, good luck to you, my man.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, enough. Turn it off, Ollie. No, I'm joking. Let's go to the phone lines now. 03717 2233. You know what, Mark? Stay in here for a couple more minutes. Come stay in here. Billy, Millwall fan, I believe. Billy, you there? No, actually, Marco, go back and do your job.
Marco, you're gonna have to leave the studio.
Yeah.
Get him out.
Billy, how are you? Good.
How are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. How are you boys?
Not bad. What did you make of the song? Be honest, Billy. What did you make of the song?
Oh, listen, absolutely awful.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, though, it's a Millwall fan talking about Carlton Cole. There's always going to be a bias there, right? It's a West Ham. It's a West Ham icon being judged by a Millwall fan. There's always going to be an edge there.
Nothing to do with Carlton Cole. The song was just awful.
It's no matter what.
Song. It was nothing about it. It was
there's many awful songs that have grown on you, and all of a sudden you're just swinging it in the shower. You're loving it. So be careful. You could be one of those. Go on, Billy. What do you want to talk about? England, go on.
I would love to talk about the starting 11.
Okay, go on.
So I reckon Jordan Pickford in goal, that's a given, yeah? Defence, Reece James, Conter, Gay, Nico O'Reilly. I'd love to hear Rory's opinion on that.
Yeah, I think
far.
I think I pretty much agree.
Fair.
I'd pick John Stones if John Stones is fit. But yeah, I've got no issue with that back line as you've presented it.
I'm gutted. Rory, you said it earlier. I'm absolutely gutted that Maguire ain't there. It don't make no sense to me. But that's the formation we got to go with. That's the team. So we go with that.
Go on, midfield.
Midfield for me would be Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson. Easy.
Yeah.
Attacking midfield, Saka, Rodgers, Rashford.
You've left Jude Bellingham out.
Yeah, he's left Jude out.
Yeah.
That's wild,
Mate.
Billy.
That's that,
That's
Billy. Come on,
wild.
you had me there,
Billy.
Bill. You had me right until the last second. Like you can't leave Jude Bellingham.
Billy, you're better than that.
Come on,
You reckon? Who are you going to drop for that?
Rogers.
Immediately.
It's not even a. Literally, it's not. It's not no stuttering straight away.
We've seen what Rogers done.
Yeah.
See what Bellingham's done, right?
Oh, Rory, seriously, you've got it there.
Billy, do you know what? When you were presenting your team, the way that you've spoken about football, 90%, I completely agree with you. I feel like we're in line.
Didn't agree with the song, though. Didn't agree with the song.
Didn't agree with the song. We disagree on that front. But apart from that, I feel like we chime. Any kind of Jude Bellingham, anyone who tries to tell me that Jude Bellingham shouldn't be in an England side, I just can't process it, mate. Jude Bellingham is an icon. He is a superstar. He is capable of winning England a tournament. I was in Gelsenkirchen when he scores that bicycle kick, and he asked who else.
Who else?
He asked who else, and he was absolutely right. He is a man that went to Real Madrid as an incredibly young man and won the league there in his first season. Jude Bellingham wins England a World Cup. He is the superstar. He cannot be left out of any team. But just for the record, Billy, whilst I passionately believe that, the team that you've selected
is closer to what
is the team that Thomas Tuchel will select for the first game.
I think he likes Rodgers a lot. He loves Rodgers. And to be fair, Rodgers had a good back end to the season as well. He's done well with Villa, and he's done well every time he's put the England shirt on under Tuchel.
My whole thing, exactly that. When he's put the England shirt on, he's done it. What he's done for Villa, he's done it. What he's done this season, he's done it. And that, for me, is enough.
Yeah, fair. Billy, great call.
Great call, Billy.
Started bad, but it's okay. We'll discount that. The rest of it was good. I appreciate it. All right, keep your calls coming. We are talking England World Cup. It's coming up. It's fast, isn't it? Fast approaching. All the teams are really heading to America as we speak. Give us a call, though, on this England side, 03717 22 3344.
Now, one of the most important parts of the interview, you must be happy. It's been 22 years since your beloved Arsenal lifted the Premier League title. Finally, it's come back home. I mean, how are you feeling?
It is fantastic, and this squad is really, really good. They've had real resilience. I do genuinely think they're the best team in the Premier League this year. I'm really glad to see them win it, and hats off to them, because they did really well. The pressure was then really on with 5 or 6 games to go. Suddenly it looked like starting the title race all over again. They pulled through, and they've done brilliantly. And 22 years is a long time to wait.
It is a long time.
But we've done it.
Let's hope you have to wait a bit longer. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I have to get your views before we let you go on the pressure that you put on TNT Sports to make that final free on Saturday. I just want to get your views on that. I know you're going to echo that, but of course TNT price it at $4.99, which some could argue is really good value. So what's your view on that?
I just think it should be free. It's always been free every year up to this year, and I say this not as an Arsenal fan. All fans want to watch the Champions League final. It's a big event. It should be free, and that's why I wrote to them to say, please make it free. I'll renew that, actually. I really do think they should do that. I think it's the right thing to do. And look, I mean, it could be a fantastic topping off of the week. We had Villa, we had Palace, then if Arsenal go and do it, we got an English treble there. What a great thing that will be.
Okay, and last question, we've got the World Cup coming up. How important is it that we bring home the World Cup to lift the nation?
Oh, so important. It would be fantastic. Obviously last done under a Labour government. Let's hope it can be done under a Labour government again. But look, he's got a great squad. He's got some real talent in there, some really exciting mix of people who've been there before, people coming in for the first time. Really interesting lineup there. Great players. Let's go out there. Let's bring it back home. We've tried it so often, but we've got to bring it back.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, listen up, we're into the final week, and this Monday someone is winning the trip of a lifetime. 2026 FIFA World Cup just around the corner. talkSPORT and Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, are sending you and a mate to Dallas, Texas. You could be at England's first game against Croatia, that one June 17th. You get return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets, and the official Adidas match ball, the Trionda. Or is it Trionda? Am I saying it right? The Trionda. All of that thrown in, ready to get that winning feeling. Here's how to enter for your chance to win. Just head to talksportwin.com or text the word win to 83338. That's win to 83338. Texas. And online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or you can give us a call 0343 418 7260. 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. Monday. That's when you're going to need to answer your phone. If it rings, 18 plus UK residents only. This is a TalkSPORT promotion, full T's and C's, talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, just simply text the word win to 83338 now. What a prize.
Amazing, eh?
Spending money, accommodate. Yeah, you'd like to think they'll give you accommodation, to be honest.
It's a dream, though.
Yeah, we'll send you out there, but nowhere to stay.
It's a dream prize. You'd be a nice gaff.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
England versus Croatia. So what a good game that is, by the way.
Yeah. Mate, you're going to Texas to watch England play in England's opening fixture in the World Cup. That's dream come true territory.
Yeah, we haven't really spoke about that game as much, just because maybe we don't look at the Croatia side like we used to. Obviously, Modric still there, Perisic still there, Kovacic in the squad, Gvardiol. There is the makings of a good 11 again.
Look, Croatia pound for pound are the best footballing nation in the world.
Just because of when they were formed as a country.
Yeah, I think they were formed in 1990, 1991.
Yeah.
Formed in 1991. You're looking at finals. You're looking at think about how good they were in '96.
I was about to say that. How quick they became good.
Yeah. Croatia as a footballing entity, I don't think anybody punches above their weight more. Then you look at the icons that they've created. Tiny country, brand new country.
Yeah.
And Luka Modric is already. This is fair to say, right? He's in a Real Madrid all-time 11. Luka Modric, all-time. Think about the player that Davor Suker was.
Yeah. Now let's go back to that Modric thing. 1 second.
Think about the player that Vedran Korluka was.
Yeah. Yeah, you made me say yeah. I was thinking about him. You're making me go with you. Yeah, Korluka.
No, if you did an all-time Real Madrid 11, is Luka Modric in that midfield?
Yeah, he has to be.
I think he's the most decorated player in Real Madrid.
There'll be some that argue and say he's an all-time La Liga 11. He's got a chance.
No, he can't get in that because it's just Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets.
Disagree.
Who gets in? Do you think Zidane gets in it?
Yeah.
How does Modric then get in it ahead of... Who's he ahead of?
Don't know.
It's hard with the La Liga 11.
You put me on the spot asking that because it's a tough question.
Mate, you've taken us down this road. This is the problem with the show. We've kind of ignored the running order and just talk about what we want.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, we're going to talk Anthony Gordon a bit later, and we're going to talk Konate as well. Let's go to the phone lines at 03717 22 3344. Let's go to Ryan, Liverpool fan. Ryan, let's talk England very quickly. Go on. Chances do you think of winning it for the first time since 1966?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the England one. I think we've got an excellent...
Oh, we're going to have to get you back. You sound like you're underwater. It's really bad, isn't it? All right, let's go to Tim. Tim, go on, England. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd just like to take reference to Rory in regards to Harry Maguire and stuff like that, and there's Gareth Southgate and everything like that.
Go ahead. The floor is yours for 4 minutes. Batter him.
Thank you, Ade. You're a massive Liverpool fan as well, like myself. You're a ledge.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I love your boxing coverage.
Thank you very much.
Wicked.
Get on with it, eh? While we're still young, Tim, you've done 2.5 minutes praising Addy.
I wouldn't go that far, Rory. Calm down. But anyway, Rory, regards to Harry Maguire, I bet you in the last tournament was one of them people going, Harry out, he can't turn, he can't do this, he can't do that. Gareth Southgate make changes. And then when this happens now, we're quite quick to go, oh, when people are absent, we're quite quick to go, oh, let's get them back in the team. When people are absent, we think they're the best players, do you know what I mean? Or managers or etc.
I think it's because of the options. I don't think it's... I have no major love or vested interest in Harry Maguire playing for England. I just think he's a better player than Dan Burn and Jarrell Quansah.
But with Harry Maguire starting our team right now, and how many times would you probably have said in the last tournament, Harry Maguire can't even turn, look how slow he is, why is he even playing for England? Gareth Southgate makes some decisions. Now, Thomas Tuchel makes some tough decisions as a team.
It's a tough, incorrect decision, though, isn't it? Who's a better player, Harry Maguire, Dan Burn? Who's a better player, Harry Maguire, Dan Burn?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Harry Maguire. Right?
Yeah, right. So there's a place for Harry Maguire in a squad.
We're picking a team. We're picking a team. We're not picking individual players. And this person, first time in probably a long time as a manager, we're actually picking a team, not people on reputation. Harry Maguire, at the beginning of the season, you would not even have said, come on, Rory, be honest.
But what does that have to do with it? At the beginning of the season, you would have never said that Cole Palmer wouldn't be there. Like, what does it mean? At the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have said. At the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have said we build a midfield around Elliot Anderson. Who cares?
Did Ade mention earlier, 3 months since Michael Carrick took over, that Harry Maguire was probably playing well then? So you judge a player. What
difference does it make? What happened then? We're talking about now. We're at the end of the season. We can quantify exactly what Harry Maguire has done this season. We can compare his achievements.
You're a wind-up merchant. You know.
What are you talking about? There's nothing wind up about this. We've taken Dan Burn over Harry Maguire.
You like to throw bombs, and people, come on, you know it.
What I do, could you just answer the question? Do you believe that Harry Maguire should have gone ahead of Dan Burn, or are you happy with the selection?
I don't believe Dan Burn should have been in the squad, but I don't believe Harry Maguire should have been in the squad either.
So who should have gone?
I would have picked Luke Shaw instead of Dan Burn, because he's thinking of probably aerial tactics there, and he can play at left back as well. Dan Burn, I would have probably took Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw should have gone over Jed Spencer if you're going to do that.
Really?
Yes, really.
As another fullback.
Yes, as a fullback. If Nico O'Reilly gets injured, Luke Shaw is an obvious deputy. He's played. The one problem with Luke Shaw is his fitness. He's played every single game for Manchester United.
You know, on that, and look, I always find it interesting when you go back and forth with callers, but you are right.
I know I'm right.
You are right.
I was never wrong.
1 second, I'm backing you up here. I'm your friend. I'm backing you up.
Never wrong in it.
He loved me. I'm just trying to give you a bit of love as well. you are right. I mean, if you are picking Dan Burn or Jarrell Quansah, I'm not having the Dan Burn's been picked as a potential left back, because if Dan Burn starts a left back, my heart rate couldn't take it.
Of course, if you're going to take a spare left back, you're not taking Dan Burn as left back. Like, what are we talking about? If you're taking a spare left back, you're taking Luke Shaw, who's played every game for Manchester United this season. That gives me a migraine.
Yeah. Don't worry. You can have a bit of a break now, because we are going to go to the news shortly. A couple of games to tell you about as well. England friendlies, big ones as well, right? Just to get this tournament going. England take on New Zealand. That one Saturday, 6th of June at 9 o'clock. Adrian Durham alongside Jim Proudfoot and former England captain Stuart Pearce. Then England take on Croatia. That one Wednesday, the 10th of June. Again, Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. That one 9 o'clock in the evening. Tampa and Orlando. And also, just to remind you, as you know, England and all the rest of the games, 104 of them will be live across the talkSPORT network, all the World Cup games, and we are the best place to make sure you listen to every single one of them. All right, when we come back, it's been doing the rounds now for about an hour. Anthony Gordon is now a Barcelona player.
Andy Robertson and Liverpool and the memories that brings up and the incredible teams that you've been part of over those years and Jurgen Klopp, all that history. Oh my goodness, just sum up, now that you're at the end of your Liverpool career, how it's been, how emotional has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of weeks, but I also try to enjoy every minute of it. I think people are fed up of seeing my face and seeing interviews of me doing farewell stuff, so I'm glad this one's radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it, but also you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. None of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together. And then we climbed to the very top, obviously. Virgil won Player of the Season, Mo won Player of the Season, Jordan Henderson won Player of the Season. All these lads did. People were, quoted as the best in their position and things like that. And I think that team just kept on growing and growing. And when you're winning Premier Leagues, when you're, in Champions.
Over the years, we've been treated to some amazing exhibition events in sports. Some become iconic, but many fail to live up to the hype. So what are some of the most anticlimactic exhibitions? Technically, it wasn't an exhibition because it ended up being sanctioned as a pro fight, but it basically was. 2024 saw Mike Tyson return to the ring to fight YouTuber Jake Paul. The event, which Paul won, was streamed by 65 million people on Netflix, making it the most streamed sporting event ever at the time. But many complained of buffering and freezing. And as for the fight itself, well, it was considered an entertaining disaster. I mean, it wasn't prime Tyson, he was 58, and after the fight, Paul, who was 27 at the time, said he'd actually gone easy on Tyson towards the end. Now, Mayweather-McGregor in 2017 was a better watch, despite Mayweather going rope-a-dope early on, but it was way too expensive. Pay-per-view was 75 quid, and in the stadium, the cheapest ticket was over 370. Now, this next one you could have watched for free, only because the pay-per-view had streaming issues, so they had to open it out. I'm talking about Tiger versus Phil in 2018, which was nicknamed The Match. Massive names and massive rivals going head-to-head. On paper, it worked. In reality, it didn't. The two players were mic'd up, so we all thought we'll get fascinating insight. We'll be able to hear them insult each other for 18 holes. But what we actually got was more heavy breathing and sniffles. And for two GOATs, the golf itself was bang average. And speaking of GOATs, let's end with Messi and Ronaldo. In 2023, an exhibition between PSG and the Riyadh All-Star 11 saw them share a pitch for possibly the final time. To be fair, it was a goal fest, which PSG won 5-4, and Messi and Ronaldo both scored. But it was obvious they were past their prime. El Clasico, this was not. And with it being in Saudi, there were more sports washing claims. So there you have it, exhibitions that have let us down. And I didn't even have time to mention the Community Shield.
Given away by Sunderland. Gordon's in the penalty area now! Newcastle lead!
We're talking about two elite clubs in Europe bidding for a player that I think is okay, he's a good player, but we're talking about £70 million on two of the biggest names in domestic football.
Started writing down wingers who are better than him. Diaz, Salah, Elise, Saka, Trossard, Martinelli, PSG's front three. Barcelona can have whoever they want. You're paying 70 million.
I can't see it. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I mean, there was...
What do you get, Barcelona or the fee or both?
Both. Like, you look... No, not even both. All three. Gordon getting the opportunity to go there, Barcelona wanting him, and the 70 million.
You know what, yeah? I have the strange feeling that everyone's going to have egg on their face and that's all going to be played out. I've seen this play out so many times where everyone like, rubbish, right? And all of a sudden, it's played out and everyone looks like idiots.
In what sense?
In
you
the sense
think he's going to go there and light it up?
Yeah, I do think that's possible.
Well, he'll have to
I really do think that. I do think it's possible.
Entire career so far.
I do think it's possible. I do think they see something, and look. I mean, you know, Barcelona don't get many transfers wrong. They don't, and I think he might prove to be a very good player for them. I think one thing he does have, which could be very keen in that league, is absolutely blistering pace. And you just don't know. You don't know. Let's take a listen to this. This is very interesting. Anthony Gordon at his Barcelona unveiling tonight. This literally just come out.
I wanted to speak Spanish because as a kid, I believed I would play for Barca, believe it or not. I have a physio in Newcastle and we spoke every day and I told him one day I'll play for Barca. So I want to learn Spanish. So that's why. I only won one trophy with Newcastle, so I'm extremely excited. I have a burning fire in my belly to win here. To win at the biggest club in the world is the best possible outcome. If I had to pick one trophy, it would be Champions League, of course, número 6. Pero quiero ganar todo.
Starts speaking Spanish as well, just immediately flips to Spanish. And I'm sorry, the skeptic in me, the conspiracy theorist in me does not believe that story at all. Like you had a Spanish kit man and you decided to speak Spanish because you're moving to Barcelona. No, that means you knew you were going to Barcelona.
Yeah, of course.
You've known you were going to Barcelona for a while and you've had a proper Spanish tutor to teach you how to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Stop the nonsense.
I mean, I just don't get it. I think it was Darren Bent there in the package that we heard just moments ago, saying that he doesn't make sense of any of this. None of it adds up. None of it actually works. And I agree. Anthony Gordon is at best all right. The kindest word I can say about Anthony Gordon's footballing ability is fine. An all right Premier League footballer. We'll have an all right Premier League. Shouldn't be in the England squad. He shouldn't be.
Who should be on the England squad then on the left, if not him?
Well,
him and Rashford are the perfect.
He should lose his place in the English squad for Cole Palmer or Phil Foden or Morgan Gibbs-White.
Who none of them can play off the left like that.
I think Foden can drift.
None of them even have his pace. It's about pace he wants.
Yeah, okay. If we want road runners, if we're just going to make it a race, he's rapid. That's again the best thing you can say about his footballing ability. He's fast.
So he's got more goals in all competitions than Foden than Foden and Cole Palmer this season. So you're talking about goals. He's got more goals than them. He's got more goals in the Champions League than them as well, who both, by the way, were playing in the Champions League for better teams.
He's had a tragic season. He's had an embarrassing season. And he scored 4 goals in the Champions League against Karabag when he thieved the penalty.
And the other 6? And the other 6 were against who?
You can't try
part-timers.
You can't try and convince me that Anthony Gordon.
All I'm saying,
been abysmal.
Man City played bad teams as well. Foden didn't score.
The last time that Anthony Gordon had a half decent game was 2024.
When was the last time Cole Palmer had a good game?
When we beat
Cole Palmer had a good game.
Well, the last time he had a good game, it was to drive Chelsea to silverware, either in Rocklow or in New York City. Or maybe he had a good game when he came off the bench to score in the Euros final.
That he did. I'll give you that.
Yeah, so I don't think we want to play this game because it won't react. It won't go well for Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon's getting this move, and do you know what? Fair play to him. But this feels like Emmanuel Petit moving to Barcelona. This feels like Alex Song moving to Barcelona. This feels like Christophe Dugarry moving to Barcelona to me. This isn't. Who was the other geezer that went? Do you remember Martin Branthwaite? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
This feels like that to me. Do you remember when Alex Song went? Like Thierry Henry goes and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Of course Thierry Henry's gone. And then Alex Song's gone. And you're like, what? Who is his agent? Because whoever was Alex Song's agent to get him to Barcelona, that was serious stuff. Petit went there. Alexander Kleb went there. Coutinho didn't work, did it?
No, it didn't.
Griezmann didn't work.
No.
There's plenty of examples where it didn't necessarily go well for Barcelona. And I think Anthony Gordon is undoubtedly part of that. I can't think of a player more undeserving of a move to such a big club. Like when Petit went, he won.
You know, I actually remember this. And look, I'm not comparing the two because I think Rashford's a level above. Everyone said this about Rashford. Everyone said exactly the same thing about we could play it out literally word for word. Everyone was like, Rashford doesn't deserve that. Remember Jason? I think you might have said that as well. What did Rashford do?
Okay.
Do you think Barcelona fans were upset that Rashford came?
No, there's what you could argue
about Rashford.
No, the two different.
No, but that's the same things were. He doesn't deserve the opportunity. What's he done for United? Didn't do anything for Villa when he was on loan there. How dare he get the Barcelona move?
No, they're completely chalk and cheese.
No, they're not.
What you would say about Marcus Rashford, where you're correct, is did Marcus Rashford deserve the move? Probably not. Was Marcus Rashford at his best a good enough footballer to play for Barcelona? Absolutely.
Yeah, but in the lead up to getting that,
he didn't deserve the move.
Wasn't that
Agreed. He didn't deserve the move. When Marcus Rashford got the move to Barcelona, I thought that it was wild because his form in the meantime, whether for Manchester United or Villa, his conduct in the meantime, whether for Manchester United or for Aston Villa, didn't warrant a move to one of the biggest, most prestigious clubs in the world. But what I would have never argued is the talent. The talent for Marcus Rashford was always there.
1 second. Are you honestly saying, and be serious here, Mr. Jennings, that Gordon isn't talented as a footballer?
No, I don't think he is particularly talented. No, I don't. I don't think he's particularly talented. I don't think he's anywhere near as talented as Marcus Rashford. So when Rashford...
So when all these teams are chasing for him, do you think they're all blind? Liverpool wanted him, Chelsea wanted him, Bayern Munich wanted him, Barcelona wanted him. So the scouts for all these clubs have got it wrong, and you've got it right.
Yeah, I can only give you my opinion. I can only give you my opinion. Whether I'm proved to be wrong is perhaps up for debate. And sometimes I do get it drastically wrong, and I'll hold my hands up. Yeah. But when I watch Anthony Gordon play, I don't see it. I think he's all right at best. I think he's an average Premier League player. And I also think that off the top of my head, if you want to play a game about Premier League wingers or world football wingers, I think he's not in the top 20. Barcelona don't make a habit of signing players who are not in the top 20, which is why I can't make head nor tail out of this.
Let's hear from a man that might be a bit more sympathetic towards Anthony. I hope anyway, because I've not heard this clip. Ali McCoist was on Breakfast, and this is how he thinks Anthony Gordon would get on at Barcelona.
Would the Anthony Gordon one affect Marcus Rashford? You'd probably think it would.
Do you think have both of them?
Yeah, well, that's a possibility as well. From Anthony Gordon's point of view, I think, it's a brilliant move if you say, right, I'm going here and I'm going to attempt to force my way into the team. You'd certainly be part of the squad, of course, and it's a club like Barcelona. It's with great respect to Newcastle, the vast majority of teams in the top flight in England. You need to be mad to not certainly consider that move to Barca. So from his point of view, I think it's a no-brainer. Whether he would start or whether he would force his way into the starting lineup in a vitally important game, not so sure.
Do you think, and I think sort of Barcelona papers have potentially mentioned that he isn't bought as a left-sided forward, but someone that can do both, play through the middle. He's done that for Newcastle a few times. He's not been successful.
Through the middle?
I'm just saying, he can kind of go through the middle, a bit like Rashford can. Not successfully through there. I admit, you look at his goal-scoring record, it isn't sort of lifting up trees, but do you think they're looking at him thinking that he can do two positions? Because they like those kind of players that are interchangeable, don't they, a bit more, as opposed to a static position.
I don't think that you can see him as a forward.
Play devil's advocate with me then.
Okay,
Why have they signed him?
Why
have they signed him?
I think it must be because they believe that his pace can be very damaging to the opposition in various La Liga games. I think that perhaps what they're thinking is Marcus Rashford is their starter. Marcus Rashford, I think, will sign for them permanently. And he will be deployed when it most matters. And adopting the modern day philosophy of having two players per position, two very good players that can interchange.
Yep.
Anthony Gordon will help ease the burden of either Marcus Rashford or whoever becomes their starter in that position.
How do you think Rashford feels with this or feels about this? Do you almost feel like...
Happy.
You think he feels happy?
Marcus Rashford?
Yeah, because Rashford wasn't a guaranteed starter for Barcelona when everyone was fit anyway. He was always fighting for his position. Now all of a sudden they brought someone in that plays in that position. Do you not think he's worried? I mean, look, by the way, they haven't signed Rashford yet.
No.
So all of a sudden they've committed to Anthony Gordon. They spent nearly 70 million quid on Anthony Gordon. They've not committed to Rashford, who was going to cost a fraction of that. They've done Rashford and his agent. I'm like, 1 second, you've not even announced me yet. You've not confirmed me, and I've done it for you for half the season very well. Yet you've announced Anthony Gordon.
No, but when you think about Rashford, right? Look, the last time I don't make a habit of watching Barcelona on a weekly basis.
You don't know what you
I did watch Barcelona. I did watch the Clásico, where Marcus Rashford both started and scored.
Yeah.
So in one of their biggest games, it was the game fairly recently where they had Olivia Rodrigo on their kit.
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford starts and scores. Marcus Rashford would love the idea of being a Barcelona player with Anthony Gordon as his competition.
Why haven't
Way
they
better.
announced him yet then?
Like, look,
what's the hold up?
Rafinha and whoever else is going to be knocking on your door. Marcus Rashford is far happier trying to keep Anthony Gordon out of the team.
That I get. Why not announce Rashford then? Which would have been, I think, what was Rashford? 25, 30 million, I think, in order to make that permanent. Half the price of what they paid for Gordon, and then less some actually. Why not announce Rashford? Why have they announced Gordon before announcing Rashford? Do you think there's a chance they don't sign Rashford?
I'd be very surprised if you had the opportunity to sign Rashford for 30 million or Gordon for 70. Like, Newcastle United have profited. This might go down as one of the best. When we do those signings, best ever signings, people go, Seamus Coleman, he only cost a few $100,000, what was it? 50 grand or whatever it was.
Andy Robertson, 7 million.
Andy Robertson, 7 million. Cesar Azpilicueta. Newcastle United have sold Anthony Gordon for £70 million. They have made £30 million on Anthony Gordon. That is immense from them. I wonder, Barcelona aren't going to not sign Rashford, surely.
I don't know. I just find it strange how you've not announced Rashford yet. You've announced someone that plays in his position and from the same country. I almost feel like there's a big conversation going on behind the scenes. Look, I think it's going to be a good sign and we'll see how it plays out, right? And then we all could be wrong here and we all could be very right. All right, up next, we're going to be taking a look at another player leaving Liverpool. The exit door is wide open and this time Ibrahim Konate is going through it.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take the time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably they got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. The initial period was a bit iffy, but I think that last year, a year and a half, the appreciation for him and his career has been immense. So that will be a headache. Goal scoring wise up front, of course, with the addition of Mbeumo, Šeško and Cunha, get a little bit more grit, a little bit more stability, a little bit older players, and in the past they went a little bit for some younger players. So I think they will do that step again to look at in the Premier League which kind of players are available.
towards Nick Pope, who drops it at the feet of Konate, who angles it back past the goalkeeper and in.
I am not as bothered as I was Trent. With Konate, I'm like, okay, what you've shown this last season, it's not something to be like, oh, we want to keep this. We want this next year.
Headed towards goal quite superbly. Andy Robertson.
He's nowhere near done. For me, he's still Liverpool's best left back. You know, I would have kept him at Liverpool.
Mistake again. Given away, Mo Salah! This time he'll count.
Club that's running the way that Liverpool has, and that shouldn't really be happening. Some of our best players ever to be leaving on a free, it doesn't sit well. But he's done fantastic and wonderful things for Liverpool.
Show's flying. Famed Footballers Friday. Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings, Liverpool. Where do we start? Ibrahima Konate. Looks like he's leaving the club on a free transfer after 5 seasons. According to our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, Liverpool did make Konate a very, very good offer, but ultimately they could not agree terms due to his high wage demands. You know, I think Liverpool are in a mess right now, a complete mess, and I only hope that there are smarter people than myself running the club that can get us out of this mess. The likes of Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards and FSG and Arne Slot, it looks like he's going to stay, even though I think that's the wrong decision. The fact that Liverpool are letting a 27-year-old French international, who probably will get minutes in the World Cup, by the way, go for nothing is just like someone's head needs to roll at that. We don't like to look at football clubs as a business, but they are. They're ultimately businesses that make billions of pounds. How are you letting someone that really should be valued at about 80 million go for nothing? And he's going to go to one of your rivals in Real Madrid and PSG. I say Champions League rivals when I say rivals, is beyond me. You look at what Liverpool have done, Rory, and the last players to have left the club on frees. So Robbo's going to go for free. Trent went for 10 million, but let's just say free, basically. Salah for free. Luis Diaz went for 70 million.
Yeah.
So you look at
Andy Robertson.
Yeah,
the list goes on, doesn't it?
It goes on. I mean, you could go back years, by the way. You can keep on going, but Gini Wijnaldum went for free. Lallana went for free. You can keep on going all the way. Salah's going to go for free, right? Salah's gone for free. It's about £250 million worth of talent in the last 18 months have left the club for a total of 70 million.
Yeah.
It's horrendous business sense. Forget Konate as a footballer, because I'm not even sure about him anyway, to be honest with you, but just from a financial sense, how you're not making a dime on Konate is incredible.
Yeah, he's too... Whatever you think of him, whatever you think of the season that he's had, he's too good a player to leave your club completely for free. And also, however limited you think he is, or however bad the season was, he's a starter for Liverpool. He's the best you've got. Whether you rate him highly or not, whether he should be the best you've got, he will start for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of a bombshell. It's bad news for Liverpool that this has happened.
I think it's horrendous. And you look at what Liverpool have got as centre-back options now. You've got Virgil van Dijk, who will be 37 when he comes back from the World Cup. Look, still a top defender, but obviously at 37 you are going to be in a decline. I don't care how good you are. 37's 37. You've got Giovanni Leone, the young kid that we got from Parma, who obviously done his ACL. You don't know what he's going to be like. By the way, he's only 19. He only played a few games for Parma anyway, as we got him. Then you got Jeremy Jacquet, 20. Only played a few games for Clermont and Lens. And then you got Joe Gomez, who I love, but ultimately is injured and could be on the way out as well. What have you got there? There's nothing at the back anymore.
It does, Addy. Not only is this an error, do you know what it really amplifies, really underscores? The error of not signing Mark Gahey.
Yeah.
Getting Mark Gahey over the line last year. Look, when you were having an amazing time of it, you were champions. It felt like you were on to retain your title. It felt like the baton had been passed from Jurgen Klopp into Arne Slot's path, and he had just been like a duck to water. It felt like things were moving in the right direction. You then made some clever signings, so they looked. It looked like a great transfer window. Ekitike comes in. You snatch Ekitike from the jaws of Newcastle United. Brilliant manoeuvre. You eventually prize Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. Looked like a brilliant manoeuvre. Florian Wirtz was seen as being the signing of the summer. Looked like a brilliant manoeuvre. And in amongst all of that fanfare, all of that furore, all of that celebration, you didn't get Gahey over the line when you could have done.
Yeah.
You didn't force it over the line. And now that is why this has happened. You can trace this back, this situation. The reason why Konate feels empowered to say, give me 300 grand a week, is because you don't have Mark Gahey there. If you'd had Gahey, he can't start throwing his weight around.
100%. He's almost realised, he looks around, and he's probably, you've got a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, an injured Joe Gomez, and a 37-year-old
Yeah.
in Virgil van Dijk. You need me more than I need you right now.
Yeah.
And this is my demands. And Liverpool ultimately, I think, made the right decision by saying, no, you're not worth that money, because it then causes a trickle-down effect and everyone then starts knocking on the door and asking for more money. But ultimately, who do you get? I mean, everyone's talking about Lacroix. Who do you get?
I think that if you look around at the options, they are there. So whilst I would say that,
but doesn't that mean you're starting again?
No, but this is bad business. It's bad business. But Konate leaving Liverpool isn't necessarily bad news. He didn't have a good season. He isn't an especially high level defender. He's the best that you have, and you're letting him go for free. So that's where the problem is. However, if he leaves, if you just take away the money, take away the business, if I were to say to you that Konate leaves and you sign Lacroix, Konate leaves and you sign Murillo, Konate leaves and you sign Milenkovic, Konate leaves and you sign Bastoni, all of a sudden that's an elevation of your back line. You wouldn't be annoyed.
No.
You're annoyed because of the money, and you're also annoyed because, as things stand, the replacement is probably Leone, who's a kid.
Yeah.
So I think that this is reparable. This isn't massively damaging. You're just going to have to go and make a serious
Yeah,
move.
it needs to be a serious one now, because there needs to be a big defender that comes in that ultimately you can feel Virgil van Dijk can almost pass the baton to and said, okay, this is yours now.
It also needs to be that. It needs to be no nonsense.
No.
It needs to be like whatever you think of Leone and Jacquet and whatever else. They're all potential centre halves, and they could be great, and good luck to them. But what you need now is no nonsense, no jeopardy. Who is
proven
best that you can get? And I think the answer is probably Lacroix from Palace.
Yeah,
probably Lacroix, but they're on about I don't know, 100 million is what I saw, which is obviously nonsense, but that's what they're on about.
Did you think? Isn't it? It's a tough question, this one. But do you think Liverpool might struggle to attract players with Slot?
No, that's the end of that.
No, with Slot.
No, that's the end of that.
So you think Slot sits down with players who, by the way, the best clubs will still be competing for those players as well, by the way. So it's not just Liverpool knocking on their door. You mentioned Lacroix. It won't just be Liverpool knocking on his door, be others as well. Do you think they sit down with Slot and it's an easy sell still? Salah's gone. By the way, Salah's gone. Virgil van Dijk's 37. Alisson's going to go. It's a Liverpool team that's going to be rebuilded. It's not the same Liverpool team that Isak would have been walking into at the start of the season.
I think that some clubs are just a kind of damage proof, and Liverpool's one of them. There will be so many footballers who would have grown up with the ambition of playing for Liverpool. The institution of Liverpool will always be very appealing, even if the incumbent manager is a bit of a lame duck. Lots of players would have dreamed of playing for Liverpool when Roy Hodgson was the manager. Yeah. Seriously. It's the institution. It's the institution that you're going to represent. It's walking out at Anfield. It's seeing the cop in full voice. It's seeing the This Is Anfield sign. The lame duck manager is kind of neither here nor there. You've signed a 4-year contract to Liverpool. You know that you're there longer than Slot.
Yeah. Another player leaving the club is Andy Robertson, who got a fantastic send-off. He's been doing the rounds. He sat down and done a few interviews. He also joined us on talkSPORT Breakfast this morning and discussed his future.
Our future will kind of take care of itself. I think, I think obviously this week has obviously been an emotional week, but it's important that now, I kind of draw a line under Liverpool and, probably more importantly, Liverpool draw a line under me. I think I won't be getting posted on their Instagram and that anywhere near as much as I have been this week, that's for sure. But yeah, obviously, I know that I've got a massive summer coming up. I've got a massive World Cup coming up, and that's my full focus on Scotland, and my future will take care of itself. I don't go into anything half-hearted. I go into everything with absolute 100%, and that's not going to change in my career. And wherever that will be, will be sorted. And obviously look forward to just what's ahead of me in the next 4 weeks.
It's going to be interesting, Robert, isn't it? Because these Tottenham links were actually when Thomas Frank was manager. They haven't gone away, but it almost seems certain that he's going to join Tottenham under Thomas Frank. I don't know if De Zerbi will be having the same kind of conversation. I think Andy Robertson's still got a lot to offer, but I do wonder if De Zerbi might look elsewhere.
Well, interestingly, I know that we're talking about Robertson here, but just to take it back to the Konate chat that we were having, suddenly hearing Robertson speak off the back of everything that we said about Konate, the team that won the league for Liverpool, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold as the two fullbacks, Konate, Van Dijk, and the keeper, the back five, say. It's kind of a new era. I actually now think, off the back of the Konate news, I don't think it's a bad idea for Liverpool to have a player like Robertson around. I think it could be a mistake to let him leave this early.
A lot of leaders going.
I think Andy Robertson, when Tottenham were potentially going to sign him, I thought it was a great signing for Tottenham. I can understand why maybe Liverpool need to look into the new era. I like Kirkes. I rate him really highly. I think he's a good player. But but I'd also kind of think that having Andy Robertson around to set the standard, to set the tempo, to set the belief levels, and to make sure that everybody understands what the task is. Andy Robertson is a standard bearer. Yeah. He's also, you know, if you were to personify
he's
Jurgen
Scotland
Klopp,
captain.
He's Scotland captain, but you know, if you were to personify the Jurgen Klopp Liverpool, if you just like what player in the Liverpool team represented Jurgen Klopp's philosophy more than anyone else? I think it's kind of Andy Robertson.
Him and Jordan Henderson, isn't it?
Yeah, to a degree.
Them two, yeah.
And having that around, having that consistency and continuity around, isn't a bad thing. Whoever signs Andy Robertson, I think they're getting a really good player. Yeah. Just to show you that I really mean this. This isn't Chelsea at all. This isn't the Chelsea model whatsoever. And players that aren't good enough for Liverpool really shouldn't be good enough for Chelsea. But he's the kind of standard player that we should be signing.
He's about 10 years too old.
No, but we won't do it. Of course we won't. But you remember, look,
mate,
we signed Thiago Silva and we went on to win a European Cup.
Yeah, he won't be short admirers. Again, you're getting him for free. And I don't expect him to be asking for 300 grand a week like some. Top 5 best left back in the Premier League ever?
Top what?
Top 5?
Yeah, he could be top 5. He could be top 5. Yeah. He's what he is, undoubtedly. He's undoubtedly Liverpool's best left back. Yeah. Like, he's a million miles better than John Arne Riise. He's a million miles better than any Liverpool Premier League era.
Yeah.
So no, but in terms
Cole,
of
Evra, Dennis Irwin.
Yeah, he's not them though. That's he's clearly. I think Ashley Cole is clearly the best. I think Manchester United fans
will say Irwin.
Yeah, Irwin gets a lot of love.
I think top 5.
Top five maybe. Is he better than Graham Rousseau?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Is he better than William Gallas as a left back?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
So who are the good Arsenal left backs over the years? Yeah, he's better than them. Yeah, top 5.
Clichy and Ashley Cole.
Top 5.
All right, up next, we're going to be hearing from both Dimitar What a player. What a player. Berbatov. What a player. I mean...
That's a footballer.
Yeah. He could play football with a cigar in his mouth, couldn't he? And Michael Essien. Maybe not a cigar in his mouth, but could certainly play football.
Bison, amazing.
Yeah. Both of them were on drive ahead of Soccer Aid this weekend.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again. And frankly, now everyone's beginning to wake up to what I've been telling you guys for several years now, that we have the best squad in world football and could well go on a 10-year tear now of dominating European football. Now we become hated. Why is that? I'll tell you why. Tall poppy syndrome. And long may we be the tallest poppy in the Premier League.
Marco. All right. Been a bit cheeky now, Marco.
I
Great
like
song.
it.
It's a great song, isn't it? It's a great song. All right, what's it called? What's the song called?
It's called All My Life, I Am an Englishman.
By
the Half-Timers.
Oh, fair play.
Boy.
Featuring
Carlton Cole, the great Carlton Cole.
Legend. All right, go on, play it a bit. Go on. Oh, is that just instrumental? Oh, all right, stop it. Playing Football is Friday. Ade Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings, just gone up to 20 to 10 with you until 10 o'clock. And then it's Carlton Cole after us, isn't it? Is Carlton Cole in the building? Oh, I'll say. Oh, even better, the Beast is here. Adebayo Akinfenwa is here. All right, Fiery Fridays are back as well. And out now on the talkSPORT Daily podcast, Adrian Durham, Alex Crook and Angelina Kelly arrive every Friday armed with one blazing hot take each. And in today's episode, Adrian explains why he believes Keith Andrews is overrated. Alex Crook makes the case that Jared Bowen should stay and help West Ham get promoted, while Angelina Kelly thinks Morgan Rogers should sign for Arsenal and play up front. If you want to hear more, then the talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms right now. Very quickly, Keith Andrews, overrated. What's Darren talking about? What's he doing?
You said that, Darren Bent?
No, Adrian Durham.
Oh, Adrian Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree. If anything, I'm one of the people that massively underrated him.
Yeah, you know what? I've just. By the way, this isn't my stat. My producer just told me. I would love to pretend that Brentford got less points this season than last season, but they sold half their team.
They sold half their team.
Yeah,
they lost their captain. They lost their two top goal scorers. They lost their manager. The manager took everything but the kitchen sink.
And everyone predicted they would go down.
Mate, I thought they'd go down bottom.
Yeah.
No, I think he's done an amazing job. I love Adrian Durham hugely. I think he's immense at what he does. But I would completely disagree with this. I would say that Keith Andrews should actually be in contention for Manager of the Year.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. He's got them in. I thought they got into Europe, but they didn't. They finished ninth.
No, they should have got into Europe. That once you redefine the ambition, that's a little bit of failure. Yeah. But apart from that, a brilliant season.
Yeah, finish above Chelsea. That's not an achievement. Not an achievement.
No.
Right, Soccer Aid. talkSPORT have been there all week. The build-up has been fantastic, and we can hear from some legends. Andy and Benty were joined by former Manchester United and Spurs striker Dimitar Berbatov at Soccer Aid training, and he explained how surviving relegation is better than winning a trophy.
You know, I had that experience with Leverkusen when I used to play in the Bundesliga. We played for the Champions League final against Real Madrid. Next season, we're fighting relegation.
Wow.
With Spurs, I don't think if it's the right comparison, but they won the trophy, and then they're fighting relegation again. And sometimes that feeling of avoiding relegation is even stronger than winning a trophy. I don't know how to describe it.
That's what De Zerbi said a couple of days ago. He said it's better. This is what he said. It's better to avoid relegation than win a trophy. And we're like,
it sounds strange. I don't know. It sounds strange, but it is like that.
That's not. No, of course it's not. Stop it.
I mean,
the Spurs survived. It's better than winning. Stop it.
Yeah. No.
You're better than that, sir. You're better than that.
Do you know what I have noticed with a lot of Tottenham fans?
They've done that.
They've got a real spring in their step.
Yeah.
You know Flav from the Fighting Cock.
I
worked with him yesterday, and in fact you were there. He came in and he's like, nobody.
Thanks for remembering I was there.
He went. Is nobody going to congratulate me?
Yeah.
Like, congratulate you for what? Congratulate you for what? We're not. He's like, no. You're going to say well done.
It's incredible.
I'm like, no. You don't get praise for this.
I guess it must be the feeling of surviving.
Yeah, the euphoria.
Yeah, man, we survived. And by the way, De Zerbi did a great job as well.
Yeah, he did. He got them.
That's something that's not spoken about enough. Can you imagine the bonus he got for keeping them up?
I will never ever forgive Aston Villa.
They had the chance, didn't they? And they went weak against Spurs. They had the chance.
Villa.
And you know they had the chance because you saw what they did in Europe and you saw what they did to Liverpool and Man City.
Villa let down English football. I'm heartbroken.
Don't want to go that far. All right, let's hear from former Chelsea midfielder, someone I know you love, Michael Essien, who also joined the Soccer Aid boys of Benty and Goldstein and spoke about his former side's appointment of Xabi Alonso.
I think when you look back, he's done well with Leverkusen. Of course, things didn't work out with Madrid. So I think it's a good appointment, and we just have to give him all the support, and hopefully he can change things.
Now that's some player.
Oh, mate.
Michael Essien.
Incredible.
I could always argue. I appreciate, when you do the best midfielders of the Premier League era, I understand why Michael Essien isn't in it.
Why is he not in it?
He's not in it because of longevity. You can't compete. I can't make the argument when you've got somebody like Paul Scholes winning 11 league titles.
But I argue Luis Suarez randomly sometimes.
But you might argue it, but you kind of lose the argument. Even if you believe it, the majority of people would disagree with you. Luis Suarez wouldn't get in.
Okay, removing longevity, forget that, just the best.
My argument with Michael Essien is, if you are picking players just on their day, if you want to pick an on their day midfield, Michael Essien on his day.
Yeah.
I've honestly never seen anything like it.
Essien and Yaya Toure come together. Yeah. He ain't getting past that on their day.
I remember playing Liverpool. We played. It was during the era where Chelsea and Liverpool were like the fiercest rivals. We went away to Anfield. I think it was a European Cup game. We went away to Anfield, and weirdly for us at the time, we were a really strong club, winning titles. We kind of changed our game plan to accommodate Liverpool and actually paid Steven Gerrard the biggest compliment that you could, and changed our entire strategy to focus on him. We basically decided nullify Gerrard and we can win the game. So we sacrificed our own version of Gerrard. We sacrificed Michael Essien to try and get a result. And we just said to Essien, do us a favour, just stop Gerrard. Sounds impossible. It's the quietest game I've ever seen Steven Gerrard. It worked. But that's how good Michael Essien was. On his day, he was just unreal. He had it all. In terms of being a defender, nobody comes close, I think, in terms of like tackles and energy. In terms of the offensiveness. Do you remember the goal? Do you remember the goal that he scored against Arsenal?
How can you forget?
I mean, the goal he scored against Arsenal, one of the best goals I've ever seen. I was behind that goal.
Better than Kante?
It's so difficult, isn't it? I'd probably pick Essien.
What?
On your day thing. Kante gets in.
I don't think Kante gets in because he just doesn't look like that. If Kante looked like Essien, Kante's incredible.
Kante's contribution to the Premier League as well, like doing what Cantona did when Cantona took the league from Leeds to Manchester United, and obviously that wasn't done since until Kante did it from Leicester to Chelsea. Achievement-wise, he has to be in, but Essien was some player. When I see him there at Soccer Aid, talking to Benty and Goldstein, I just immediately go back to that era of Chelsea when we were actually good, dominant, players that were likeable,
monstrous. We didn't really get the chance to talk about what he spoke about there. Let's do it for a minute if we can, very quickly. Xabi Alonso, your new manager, which again, just for me, surprised me. I actually thought it was a bit of a, what I thought it was when I started hearing the rumours. I thought that was basically his agent putting the feelers out so Liverpool just get the job done. Liverpool, look, we're going to go Chelsea. If you don't do it, we're going to go. We're gone. And all of a sudden, he's the Chelsea manager, which is, I think, a massive, obviously, upgrade on Mourinho. A man that's coming as a winner. He's going to come into the dressing room, and I think people automatically are going to stand up because he has that presence and the gravitas. We'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do in the Premier League.
It's the best appointment that we could make.
Yeah, agreed.
But what has to happen?
Best appointment you've made for a long time.
It's the best. Yeah. Also, do you know what we've done? We've taken a manager who was at Real Madrid under Bluco. This ownership, that the worst thing to ever happen to Chelsea Football Club. If you look at where we've got managers from, we've got managers from Brighton. We've got managers from Strasbourg. We've got managers from Leicester when they were in the Championship. Not the level that we should be getting managers from. Now we've gone and got a manager from who was most recently at Real Madrid and won a league in Germany.
Unemployed though, wasn't he?
We won a league in Germany.
What manager was unemployed though? When you say
but his most recent job was Real Madrid, and he left Real Madrid because he couldn't really deal with the egos, rather than couldn't deal. His win record at Real Madrid is immense, mate.
He's going to make every manager comes in and makes a statement, don't they? Whether it be a player going, you know what I mean, like this, like that. What's the statement do you think he makes?
I think the statement, actually, weirdly, you are correct. Usually it is about players. It won't be, though. The statement that he needs to make is that he is the manager. They've made him the manager, but we know that there has been a pollution of the Chelsea manager role from above. We know that Bedard Agbali has polluted and convoluted and got stuck into the Chelsea manager. Enzo Maresca told us so. What has happened is Enzo Maresca was a head coach, Liam Rossini was a head coach, that McFarlane bloke was head coach. What we now have is a manager. His title is a manager. And I think the statement that he needs to make is that he is the manager, he's going to do it his way, and he will not work within the parameters that are set by Bluco.
Conte came to the club when you guys were in disarray as well, when you finished, I think it was 10th or 11th that season that Conte came in. You came in and you won the league.
No European football either.
Yeah. I'm asking you that question with Xabi Alonso. Different Chelsea side. Obviously, there was this little guy called Hazard who was very special.
Yeah, Hazard, Cesc Fabregas was in that team. It was
amazing.
But
what's acceptable for Alonso?
I mean, the standards have slipped so low now that any kind of qualification for the Champions League will be considered success.
Yeah. Sure.
But can we win the league? Probably not. But look, we just need to get back to being what we were once. We just need to get back to feeling like a club again, bring harmony to the stands again, because there is a lot of disparity. There is a strong disparity between the fans, the owners, the players. It's a very dislikable crop of players. I only like about half a dozen of them. So many of them are not good enough. It's not a happy place at the moment. So if Xabi Alonso can come back and get us back into Europe, like under Bluco, this is the second season out of 4, 2 out of 4 that we're not in Europe at all. The previous 25 years, we missed out on Europe once.
All right, let's see what Xabi Alonso can do next season. I can't wait for his first press conference, actually. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about Bluco and about some of the players currently at the squad, including Enzo Fernandez, heavily linked with a move away from the club to Real Madrid. All right, Soccer Aid, 11 versus England 11. 8:30, 6:30 at the London Stadium. It's a talkSPORT exclusive. Andy Goldstein will be with it. Ollie Klink does such a good job. Ollie Klink will be commentating alongside Darren Bent as well. Should be fun. Always is fun. Raises a lot of money for charity as well. All right, this is going to be a bit of a special one. When we come back, it is time for everyone's favourite feature, but we're going Champions League special. Too good, too bad.
Big week, big week, big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you
See,
very much.
do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. That you can't celebrate. You come in
Straight in. Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation.
Nobody.
It's good. We're having this conversation.
He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically say, "Oh my God, by the skin of our teeth, we got away."
Bro, you know I don't play for Spurs, right? You know that. I got my whole own thing going on.
No, I don't really get it. But what I do have to do is give a lot of credit to Roberto De Zerbi.
Yeah, fair enough. He done his job. He done well.
He changed the direction.
That was the last swing of the bat, innit? Like getting De Zerbi in, and he done his job.
Yeah. Do you think you would have gone down without him?
Yeah, probably. I think so. Probably. He galvanised everyone. I think he just brought everyone together, and people bought into him, which is important.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, but time is running out. This Monday, someone wins a trip of a lifetime. They go to the 2026 FIFA World Cup courtesy of Adidas, and it could be you. You and a mate could be in Dallas, June 17th in England versus Croatia. What a game, live. We're talking flights, hotels, spending money, tickets, and the official Tryonda match balls, all included. Just head to talksportwin.com to enter. Full T's and C's now. All right, now time for this.
Too good? Todd Bowley has become our sporting director. The man's never worked in European football before. So the fact that he's now in charge of this recruitment drive fills me a little bit with fear.
Too bad.
Going out and signing with Charlison, it's huge, isn't it? He will certainly score goals for them.
So bad, isn't it?
Why don't they make a new package?
Yeah, I feel like they've done you wrong here.
Marco, do it.
Richarlison one's really bad, isn't it? Such a bad take.
Yeah.
All right, too good, too bad. Well, me and Rory take it in turn to pick out one player we're looking forward to see play this Saturday. Obviously, it's the Champions League final. It's live on talkSPORT, and one who desperately needs a performance. Rory, let's start on the light side of things, the funnier side of things. A player you're really looking forward to see play on the weekend.
I mean, there's a lot of players in the Paris Saint-Germain team. Yeah. Doué, Dembele, they catch my eye massively. I think the midfielders, Vitinha. I'll go for Doué, I think. I'll go for Doué. I just think he's a masterful talent, incredible to watch.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of say this about almost all
that
of
then?
the
So that potentially could be Calafiori. He's up against, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very fluid front line from Paris Saint-Germain, though. But yeah, look, they are so easy on the eye. We saw what they did to Inter Milan last year.
Incredible.
It was just beautiful.
Even that game, by the way, sorry to cut across you. I think, everyone talks about them in terms of just this free-flowing attack inside. Go and watch them in that second leg at the Allianz against Bayern Munich. Just their defensive ability. Yeah. I mean, they get stuck in as well. You almost look at them like they might have a soft underbelly.
They kept Bayern at arm's length in that game.
Yeah.
Like people were saying that it was quite a good result for Bayern. They were going home with only one goal deficit off the back of that amazing game that we saw that finished 5-4. And ultimately, PSG showed us that they are about the Arsenal life as well. They can be resilient. They can be stubborn. They do have an element of tenacity that you need.
And you look at that front three of Bayern. It's arguably the best front three in the world right now. Of Kane,
Elise, Diaz, yeah,
and they kept them quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm looking forward to seeing. Thanks for asking me, Rory. It's okay, and that's fine. I'm looking forward to seeing Kvaratskhelia. When you think of, and you always talk about this, I hear you talk about a lot, Mavericks. I just look at him and think he's just a genius.
Yeah, because he does it all in It's quite funny, isn't it? Because he's so strong. You know, often when you think of that sort of player that takes on
diminutive.
Yeah, or you think of either that, or you think of just being electrifyingly fast. So Arjen Robben.
Yeah.
Arjen Robben obviously was devastating on the ball, incredible ball control, incredible balance, silk, poise, everything got Robben. But what he wasn't was tough.
Yeah.
He wasn't tough. I remember actually being at Anfield, going back to that same rivalry. I think Carragher went through the back of him.
Yeah.
And he asked to be subbed, Robben. He asked to be gay. Honestly, it was at Anfield. It was over the other side from the dugout. Yeah. Robben gave it, the get me out, get me off.
Yeah.
Which he was probably injured. But there are some footballers that just don't do that.
Agreed.
Kvaratskhelia is a winger, and he plays with the grace and poise of Robben, but the determination of an Essien.
Yeah.
He's so powerful when he runs.
I think he's absolutely.
Do you think he's the best player in the world at the moment, Kvaratskhelia?
On the eye, I don't think the numbers will back it up. I think Kane could be.
If Paris Saint-Germain retain a European Cup, the World Cup's going to do him a mischief, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem.
The World Cup's going to do Kvaratskhelia a mischief because if it wasn't a World Cup year, he could easily win a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, whoever gets deep in that tournament and wins it probably will win it back.
Look at his record, Kvaratskhelia. Do you know he won the title at 2 clubs last year? He won the title at the year he went to Paris Saint-Germain. Napoli and Paris Saint-Germain. He won the league at both. He then won the European Cup. He won the treble in French football, and now he's potentially going to retain a European Cup.
Good luck.
That doesn't put you in contention for a Ballon d'Or. I really don't know what does.
Yeah, Urin Timber's got his work cut out. If fit, and they're saying Urin Timber is fit on that right-hand side. All right, quickly, who needs a performance?
I'm going to go David Raya. I think David Raya is an elite goalkeeper. I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world, actually. And I also think, quite controversially, I think, that when you talk about Arsenal's best players over the course of the season, you could Rice, whatever. I think it's David Raya. But he's going to have the game of his life. If he does, Arsenal could win it. If he's slightly off it or just at normal standard, I think he's going to be very busy. I think he needs to perform. What about you?
He's grown on me massively, by the way. When Arsenal signed him from Brentford, I was like, what are they doing?
He starts their attacks.
Yeah.
He starts their attacks like a sweeper.
He doesn't start for Spain. Like, he doesn't start for
Who's the Spanish number 1, do you know?
Not him.
Really? I am amazed.
Simon.
Is it really? I am amazed.
Trying to pretend my knowledge was there. It wasn't. Simon. Needs a performance very quickly from me. Declan Rice. And it's not going to be easy. Look at that midfield and he's got to come up against. I mean, it's going to be very, very.
He needs a game of his life as
well. It's going to be Vitinha. It's going to be Neves. It's going to be Ruiz. He's got to stand out.
They're just not going to have the ball, Arsenal. Like, they're not going to want the ball either, but they're going to have to concede possession. It's a bit like when England played Spain in the Euros the year before last.
And it's the wrong team to concede possession to. They will hurt you and hurt you and hurt you.
Who wins it?
PSG, obviously.
Fingers crossed.
Honestly, everything crossed. Absolutely everything. Can we play Marco? So, Marco, go on quickly. Go and get your song out very quickly.
Come on, Marco. Get it on.
15 seconds
What's
to
a
play
banger?
As we're doing this, a Sports Bar weekend. Adam Catcher on. There you go.
What a tune. God, England.
God.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith,